right, everybody, welcome to Season 2, Week 3, Coach Rivals. If you are out there joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll be getting started in just a few minutes here. Welcome, everybody. We are gearing up as the squads are getting ready to load in. We'll be pulling up the pro draft in just a few moments. But welcome. We've got a series of matches tonight that are going to be fun to watch for sure, as we've got a couple teams at the bottom of the brackets looking to get us some dubs. My apologies. Good job. Looks like I was trying to play the game on that one. Um, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Uh, this is why it's important for the players to watch the stream as well. So we've got some special casters today. Cleaner's going to be here. Rick. Pretty sure Pathfinder's going to be here. Um, they are looking ready to go already. So let's just go ahead and pull up Pro Draft um, and let them know what's going on. So welcome once again to all those out there watching the stream. And we are going to get this game started. We got a fun one for you. We got Spawn a Baron versus team on the right. And this is going to be fun. Both teams are looking to get some wins out of this one. So we've got some interesting matchups going on here. It's going to be a lot of fun down in the bot lane as we've got Diamond and Plat versus, oh, here we go. Getting started early with these early bans going on. That is a Lulu, that is a Morgana coming out really fast. Lux as well, Fizz. It's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth right now. Ezreal is going out. The teams have done their research getting
I
ready
see.
for this matchup.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They know who they don't want to fight against. They've talked about it, they planned it, and then here is the Amumu first pick. Not surprised.
Yeah, going straight in for that jungle pick from Spawn a Baron. And yeah, I mean, I've never seen ban phase that fast. I mean, they just knew immediately what to do going into this game. But now is where it starts to slow up a little bit as we see team on the right is taking a little bit of time to hover that Nautilus. Are we seeing Nautilus again?
They'll just keep on trying and trying and trying.
I mean, that Nautilus pick, everybody likes it. The tankiness. If you go jungle, you've got that CC, you've got that engage. If you can make it happen, it could be really good, as they are going to lock that one in. So a Mumu, Nautilus could be jungle, could be support, but you know, two sustaining champs early on for these picks, and it is definitely slowed down. Hovering that Jinx, pretty sure that's going to be an ADC. One of those roles that we pretty sure we know where that champ's going. So Rick, what are you looking for in this one?
Well, I got to see Spawn and Baron play live the other night, and it was pretty crazy. They've got they got a good mid, they got a good uh, bottom row, so it's going to be exciting. Lots of kills off the bottom. Those supports going to be battling out left and right, so you can get their sticks and who can keep everybody alive. But I'm looking for some excitement out that bottom row today.
Yeah, this one's going to be one of our more balanced looking matchups, as we've got the ADCs and the supports are closer ranked than in some of the other matchups we've seen. Actually, across most of these lanes. So this is going to be exciting, as this is going to be just a headbutt matchup. I think they're just going to be trying to find a gap and to crack into. You know, we don't have some of the discrepancies that we've seen in some of the other matchups where you have a really high level top laner, let's say, up against someone low, but the balancing out is out, then the ADC role that you've got this gap. We don't have that in that matchup, and that's going to be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that top lane just going back and forth. They might try to knock each other out real quick, but I think they're going to go back and forth, get up their abilities, and then start moving across the map. Our junglers on this round, I mean, this is going to be interesting. We've got some fairly high level junglers, and they obviously know what they're doing. So look for some ganks too.
Yeah, and we in the games that we've seen in this season, um, there hasn't been as much jungle presence if I recall back to or influence, if you will. It's not like we haven't seen a jungler just go ham and just really run the game. I mean, we've seen a lot of mid lane games and some top lane games, but it'll be interesting to see if either JDCo or Cannon can make a run for that big jungle game in this one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We've seen a few jungles go off, but not, never those. Oh, here's a gank, here's a gank, here's a gank, here's another one. But that has
Yeah.
to do with both teams being very, very aware of where they're at, laying their wards down, right? Always checking, am I being pushed up because I'm kicking butt, or am I being pushed up because they're letting me be pushed up? There's a lot of stuff to think
Oops. Thanks for the heads up, Until. Let me fix that for us. Looks like we got us on the wrong game listed for Rocket League, but we will switch that up. Thanks for the look. But it looks like we got ourselves locked in for this one. Um, yeah, here we go. We've got Cassidon. I think that's the first time we've seen Cassidon coming out. Um, that's going to be exciting. So Volibear, I don't think we've seen Volibear. So definitely some new champs. Gogmaw coming out. So this is going to be fun in mostly in the respect that we're seeing champs we haven't seen in this season, or at least we haven't
about.
seen live for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's cool about this competitive league. Bans are legal. So we're going to see all kinds of different stuff. You're looking at these guys, OPGGs, you're trying to figure out who they're going to play. We're going to see some cool bans.
Yeah, and this will be fun for sure. So um, the squads are loaded up. They've gone from pro draft over to the in client. So we will hang out here talking about this for a little bit while we wait to see them get into the game themselves, and they're going to go through that pretty quick. Um, but yeah, so a couple new champs coming out. Shin, haven't seen Shin. I don't think we've even seen a Jinx or an Orange. So this is almost a completely across the board new streamed game, at least for us. So this will be pretty exciting. And let me throw something in the chat. We're doing something new tonight. We're doing bingo, Coach Rivals bingo. So just to throw something out there for everyone who's playing along, I'm going to drop this link. It's just a whole bunch of stuff about League. So if it happens in the game, you can follow along if you want. But something to mix it up for everybody watching the stream. But we are excited about this one. Both of these teams are really battling it out to move up in the bracket for this season. And this is a big night because we're going to have another game right after this. So put your seatbelts on because it is
Nonstop
coming.
action.
It is it is going to be a fun one for sure. So when you look at this matchup, these champs have been selected. What do you thinking is going to happen in this one, Rick? What do you seeing coming to shine out of this?
Well, let's see. You got Vagar. He's going to throw that circle and get people stopped. I'll always watch out for him. Orange got a really cool ultimate. He can make that thing come at you and then knock it wherever he wants it to go. Plus, you got those item upgrades with him. Down stop, other side just looking real quick. Vola Bear, like we haven't seen him, but I've heard that he's got a little bit of buff lately. Jinx, always crazy with the Jinx, and then Nihilus with that hook. You gotta have that hook. As long as it lands, you're toast.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see if that Jinx ult comes into play. We saw the Xerath popping off like crazy the other night in a matchup where Xerath was just global artillery and causing some problems for sure. So we'll see if those Jinx rockets make a play in this one. Um, so that'll be super fun. That Amumu engage can be extremely exciting, especially mix that with a Vagar cage. Just shut that whole thing down, throw a Zyra bomb on it. So I'm looking at Spawn of Baron having uh, quite an interesting little kit to go off of. But I mean, Volibear, let Volibear get going, and just the fact that you can shut those turrets down gives you just that little bit, that 5 second little push. um, I think there's going to be a lot going on with these two comps and how they're going to play it out. And I'm really interested to see um, how these bot lanes mix it up, because it looks like what we're going to be seeing is this Kog'Maw Zyra versus this Jinx Nautilus. So a lot of action coming from that Zyra, so much damage from that support, and then that Tanko from that Nautilus. So that's going to be fun to watch how they go back and forth. But this is going to be a good one. I'm excited. Um, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm ready to follow along and just watch it go.
Yeah, I just, it's hard to predict one way or the other, but I'm going to be watching MG Flory in the middle and that Jinx on the bottom. Those will be my two exciting ones for this match.
Yeah, for sure. Um, we are on spectator delay, so it's just going to be a few more minutes. Chat, uh, what do you see? Uh, Other than the fact that I need to change it from Rocket League, I get that. Um, but what do you see in there, chat? Let us know what you see about these comps, and and what you're feeling as I throw these bingo cards in if you want to play along. Yes, I'm chat is yes, I'm gonna switch it up as I do that. But let us know what you see about these team comps, these teams, what you're excited to see in this one, and as we get into the stream. I don't know if I can change that. JD Code is the real deal. So
Trying to
yeah, I
sign
mean, I
in. What's
think
up?
that in that the jungle, like we talked about, the jungle role is going to be it's going to be exciting. Um, I think this is one of those matches that we might see a lot of play in the jungle for those ganks, especially with that Volibear being able to come in and slow, especially with that Amumu engage. Um, Hold on, let me update it. Okay, we are we are now we are now set for League of Legends. Everything is good. Um, but yeah, I'm just excited to see a lot of map pressure um, across the board. Like you mentioned, that Ornn ult, it can really mess you up. And the other chain factors that they can do on Spawn a Baron is going to be really exciting. Uh,
Yeah, exactly. Spawn of Baron last week played like a team. You can tell that they had a game plan. I mean, these bands came out really, really fast. So I can imagine what else they've talked about all week trying to get ready for this game.
yeah, and only about 30 seconds left, so we're about to get ready to get going. Um, but yeah, like Legendary Frog, Kassadin, if Kassadin get to late, that's just like a delete, right? Kassadin can just pop off. Um, and Volibear, if Volibear can get some kills early on, then getting that gold and getting those items, then Volibear can be an unbelievable problem for these team or for Spawn of Baron, just rolling in and just doing so much damage. And so we'll see. And especially like you said with the Jinx also can just pop off. So this is it's going to be exciting as we are just about to load in. We are dropping off that spectator delay, and we've got a good one for you. This is season two coach rivals Spawn and Baron versus Team on the Right. And I'll tell you, Team on the Right is actually on the right for this one. And I know that they don't like that. They picked that name specifically so they could be sitting on sitting on blue side this whole time. But it looks like they're not going to get that glory this time around.
Looks like Spawn of Baron has the skin game going. Got a couple of guys over there on team on the right with no skins. I don't know.
Oof. That's I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do about that. Like you're,
I mean, that's
this
just
is the
like the
most
Texas
important part of the
factor.
game, right?
You can't account for that.
Skins wins, right? That's how they say it. That's how our students were always skins win.
All right, and they're running out from the fountain past the towers. Let's go.
Here we go. Sync up our games real quick. All right.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
GTG everybody. As I zoom out a little bit. So yeah,
30
looking
seconds
at
until minions
a
spawn.
little bit of a traditional start here.
Yeah, they're not testing the waters, trying to go for a deep board or anything. Just kind of shaking hands.
Yeah, the old 5 point start. Kind of a classic to make sure you can check all those spots in case anybody does want to come in with a little bit. MG Flory sitting on Vagar, letting Bullet know what's up. Saying hello in the mid
Oh yeah,
lane.
you got to get a little bit of that arcane comet in there every
Minions
once in a
have
while. Just a
spawned.
tap.
Just to say hello. So yeah, I mean, we're going to see a little bit of a traditional start here, although I don't know.
We got
Take
some
that back.
stuff going down in the bottom lane. We got a little bit of sneakery.
Yeah, his team on the right is looking like they're hanging out in the tri-bush, but what they don't know is there is a beautiful little ward there that says, "We see you completely," and we're going to turn around on that one. No one really gets the better of that, but Bulldog is going to be sitting a little bit less health to start this one off.
Yeah, and that Traverse ward is so important sometimes. They would have been a little bit of a fight there. They didn't have it.
Yeah, that could have been interesting. They could have gone in on that level 1. A little bit of an engage to happen there, but good use of the ward there, and it held them off for that. So we see our
Bears all
junglers.
up here, the Ravens.
Yeah, Volibear's moving red to Raptors. We'll see if they do a full clear or they're going to go for an early.
He didn't take a leash or anything, and he was real quick off that red, so
Yeah,
he's already crossing.
yeah, Moomoo's going for the full top side clear on their top side as Volibear is just leaving Krugs. Oh, hook going out from Bulldog. Not able to connect as we got Jinx getting chunked down from Beginner's Mind in the bot lane. So we already got a lot of action in the top lane too, as both top laners are already at 50% health, and we're not even at the 3-minute mark. So a little bit of action early on as the team on the right is taking some damage in the bot lane, but I wonder if Volibear is going to be able to come in and curl around for maybe an early gank attempt as they're starting to let Spawn a Baron push this wave in maybe a little bit. We'll see if Volibear answers that. Shin going in on the engage here as Ornn is able to take a little bit of chunk damage down there, but there's no junglers up top side, so it's just the island of top lane for now. They're just going to be duking it out, waiting for one of them to misstep and react as they step up to take these minions.
Yeah, and that's all this early game is. Farming, wait for the other guy to mess up, take advantage of it.
Yeah, here we go. We see Volibear curling around, sweeping. Oh, what a flash from Zyra to get out of there. That would have been a hook, and that could have been a really good one, but Volibear not able to connect on that and is going to just take the losses of nothing and maybe go get some scuttle. But a nice little attempt there, but that flash from Zyra, I mean, that was an important flash. That's going to be expensive over the next few minutes because that's not going to be able to happen again. As it looks like Ornn is going to knock up Shin and get first blood in the top lane.
Yeah, there's that first blood coming from that Ornn, and he can throw out some damage. Plus, he's tanky. If you get too aggressive, you're just gonna get 8.
Here we go
In
again.
the bottom lane again.
Curling in comes Volibear for the re-gank. And that time, Zyra does not have flash and cannot get out of the way. So 1-to-1 on the kills early on. Great. I mean, that was a great read by Cannon on that one. He saw the flash was burned on Zyra and knew that, hey, you know what? I can probably come back down and get this because that tri-bush was not warded again.
Yeah, and I like exactly what you said, the re-gank. Didn't happen the first time. Go up, and you know, after you get ganked, you kind of wait a minute, and you drop your awareness for a second. And he just swooped back in, got the kill, back out into the jungle.
Yeah, good. I mean, like you said, it's not. Oh, they ganked me, so I'm safe. You know, they ganked you and you lost your flash, so it's a little bit dangerous, but kind of a good move coming around that back door from Volibear, from Cannon. You don't expect that, like you said, and that opens some things up. It definitely equalizes the score for sure. But it also tells the bot lane that hey, I'm not afraid to come down there. So you're gonna need to start putting some wards down. You're gonna have to expect me. So it'll be interesting to see if Spawn of Baron responds by playing a little safer and putting down a lot more vision in that bottom river.
Yeah, and that vision is so important. Sometimes you gotta be aware. And you are never ever safe. It took me a couple of years to find that out, but you are never ever safe.
Yeah, you think you are, and that's when you're gonna get taken out.
Exactly. Oh, I can breathe a second. No, I can respawn at Fountain a second.
Yeah, if you don't see that jungler, it's best to assume that they are coming for you. So here we go, another bit of engage from Ornn coming in on that Shin. The Shin is getting dropped down. But look, this team on the right is pushing in again, bringing a big wave with them this time around, maybe trying to get some plate gold and getting some prio for that Drake. So they're going to push that wave and circle back down to the Drake as Volibear is coming down as well. So we might see our first Drake attempt right here. It's going right now. We got 3 on the Drake as Amumu's coming in, Zyra's coming in, Kog'Maw is cleaning up a wave. I take that back. Amumu is just pathing. I think they're going to give this one up.
Yeah, they're not even going to contest that. They had it too perfect. Too good timing. Everybody's good health. Knock it out. Just let them have it.
Yeah, clean up the wave in the bot lane. Kind of take advantage of everybody being out of lane if you can. Give it up and go for the next one.
Yeah, and there's been debate in chat all week about, is the dragon necessary? And here goes the ult up top on Shin. Is he going to get it?
Oh, able to get out of
barely
the
missed
way.
it. Good dodge. He should be dead, though.
Yeah, I mean, that was some nice maneuvering. I was watching it on the mini map. I saw that ult come in, and I was expecting another kill, but that did not happen. Shin was able to get out of the way. We got another fight going down here. Nautilus gets the hook on Beginner's Mind. In comes a TP from MG Flory to cage in Will Win as they're going to drop those comets down. And it looks like MG Flory is now in the back line as here comes Volibear. The ult coming in on MG Flory, and that's going to delete MG Flory. So Will Win on Jinx, still able to barely stick on this map with just a little bit of health. That health coming back. What a ton of action down in the bot lane.
Yeah, that's what's good about MG4. He can move all around the map. He's got awareness. I guarantee he can set that whole thing up. Oh yeah, get her started early. Yeah, and anytime you can stop at least one champ from being a problem, you're at an advantage. Sometimes you gotta concentrate on one guy, but we haven't anybody run off yet with the levels, so we'll see. Yeah, that was a good time gauge. And like you said, I think the quote in chat was, once again, a game where dragons didn't matter.
Yeah. They had, that game where there was a lot of dragons taken, but it turned out that the team with the most dragons was not the most powerful. We'll see if we've got some vision here. Amumu's going up into Rift and the Herald, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and start that. So looks like Spawn and Baron is going to take a chance at getting Rift Herald. That can definitely be something to crack open the win condition for sure. But you know what we're seeing a lot of in this bot lane is that his team on the right has been just shoving these waves. So not opening up the door for some later, more Volibear ganks. But we'll see. As that Rift Herald is picked up by Amumu, and it looks like they're probably going to path up top for that, as Volibear looks like they're coming in to engage on Amumu as they crack the Rift Herald early. Ornn sending that ult out. Oh, timely Ornn, but unfortunately Bullet Games is able to get Jadiko as the Rift Herald is going to go down lane solo as there's 3 wide up top. But
that was cool. You know, I've never seen the Rift Herald go up the river and then almost knock a tower down by itself. But that +1 player, hey,
yeah,
get him off the bench, coach. Put him in the river. Let's go.
Yeah, get the 6th man out there, or 6th lady as our Rift Herald. But Spawn and Baron took quite the punch on that one, but they were able to get that Herald out, and team on the right just chased down the players, and that was able to let the Rift take a good chunk out of that tower. And I thought maybe they were going to be taking that whole tower down on that. They just left it all alone in the top turret.
Yeah, that top turret's going to go down soon, and this vision Spawn and Baron has is great. They're pings, they're talking. This is a good game so far. Here we go on the dragon again.
Yeah.
This is team on the right getting the dragon.
Yeah, team on the right going in for dragon number 2 as we got Veigar coming down here, maybe to try and drop a comet down and steal this thing. As they do not, they are going to back away as Kassadin's going into the jungle to push off Veigar a little bit. Now, we've got 2 Drakes for the team on the right, but we are about to have 1 turret for Spawn and Baron, so we definitely have an objective game here. As Shin going in to engage against Ornn to push Ornn off of this turret, but it looks like can't imagine not getting this turret to go down from Ornn. So a little bit of an objective difference going on here as MG Flory is catching Kassadin. Kassadin blinks out, gets a swipe on Veigar in the mid lane. Oh, and Blink blinking back.
Almost backfired on him. He had to get that wall hit, but he was quick on his feet and bounced right out of there.
Yeah, that was a close one for sure. So a lot of action in that mid lane, and the Kassadin is able to is definitely seems to have the prio here, but that Veigar play is not backing off. You know, Veigar definitely scales and becomes incredibly complicated or difficult to play against as a late game and can just delete you. So I think Spawn and Baron is just trying to hope for that late game power spike going on here. You know, Zyra can become just consistently problematic with damage. But we'll see as we've got a wave coming in now with our bot lane as here comes Amumu, JDCO, getting into a little bit of a fight there with Bullet Games as in comes Volibear as well. Oh no, so we've got a client.
Yeah, everybody's just meeting at that bottom tower. Here comes the TP for a little bit of extra help. Is it gonna work?
I don't know, but my client froze. There we go. I'm gonna have to speed up a little bit here.
Spawn and Baron's getting out of this. Perfect, chasing them away. They're running away from the river. They're going back up lane. They are still fighting. Let's go.
So sorry about that, everybody. Looks like we had a client glitch. Speed up. Here we go. We're back in. So there you go. We just saw team on the right being able to get the better of that one, it looks like. But we got another engage coming in as the comets come down as Shin is taken out as it's just TSS Trainer going in.
And another
Veigar. TP from Bullet Games. Kassadin caught in the cage coming in Hot to get that kill, tower diving, not get the kill, but then looks like they're going to get taken out by the turret as MG Flurry survives. What?
The squishy guy makes it out alive.
How does
There
that?
was a lot of damage, a lot of stuff flying around that bot lane for a couple minutes. That's the type of action I like to see.
Yeah, that was wild. I mean, this is the TP game for sure. There's multiple bot lane fights where there's been TPs coming in, or you know, Shin popping in, and yeah, I mean, you like to see that mobility with a team that is mobile, using it to their advantage, or as defensive as you can. You know, in lower level play, where I like to hang out, you see a lot of TP just to get back to lane. It's a whole nother game when you start using TP strategically to get into a lane fight. Not just a Drake fight, not just a Baron fight, but getting in to add that, all of a sudden there's another champ here kind of aspect to your games.
And that champ is positioned well. Yeah, here comes Volibear, like you said.
Coming in hot off this Amumu, trying to get back with those stuns to the turret for some safety, and able to get back, but a huge chunk as now Volibear is stuck in the top jungle, able to get by, not enough vision to see, as we see another engage coming in, that Zyra ult doing very little to the Nautilus, but Nautilus now getting chunked down from the Cogmaul, having to flash out, as Cogmaul is now starting to do a bunch of damage, as Will Win has to back off. So we're starting to see those spikes. I mean, we're past the 15-minute mark. These ADCs are going to start taking some serious hits from each other and being able to do a ton of damage.
Yeah, that was a nice Nautilus hook. Didn't really take advantage of it as much as they could have, but it landed. So land some more.
Yeah, it's such a fun engage too. You know, the Nautilus just pulls you in and it's the go button. When it lands, it lands, and it is fun. It is exciting. I'm sure we're going to see more of those. Definitely been throwing them out down there. I think as we get to the 20-minute mark and further, when we start to see these team fights, you know, we might be seeing those standoffs, right? Those positioning battles where both teams are just kind of waiting it out for that trigger. Someone gets a little too close, and in comes that Nautilus hook, and all the lights go flashing.
Exactly. Yeah, they just keep on going on that mid lane, back and forth, and MG4, he almost dies, but he hasn't.
Oh, he's been using that cage so well.
Yeah, one death,
one,
but he's just been escaping a lot this game. And here's another Drake dragon.
Ooh, as Amumu's getting caught out by Bulldog Mentor.
Yeah, he's not making it out of this situation.
Oh, but in comes Bullet Games. Now we've got Will Win and Beginner's Mind here, true to try and clean this one up. As we see the entire team now curling in, as Shin is just, Shin's about to come in as well. Ornn dropping down that ult. Big fight happening here. Dragon as Volibear goes in with the ult. TSS Trainer is trying to get out, but cannot get out in time and is taken out. Beginner's Mind being hunted by Will Win on that Jinx. Ishka tries to throw in some CC defense with those vines. Zyra, as another Drake is going to go for the team on the right.
Yeah, team on the right playing those dragons. That's their third one. They're positioning well. They're giving Spawn a Baron a run for their money.
Yeah, Spawn a Baron was able to get that first tower, and let's see if they can use that tower advantage up in the top lane to push that there. As Will Win is chasing down Beginner's Mind. Ooh, tons of damage coming off on this Jinx. Curious to see, is that ult from Jinx is live now? Are they going to throw that one out? As Beginner Mind is able to heal very quickly. The cage comes out and Shin is under tower. MG Flurry just deletes the Shin trying to get that mid lane tower. The attack speed from Jinx is just on fire right now.
Here comes Volibear to bottom lane.
Oh, the curl is happening. I don't think Beginner's Mind's going to be able to get out of this one. The flash play as in comes everything. Volibear able to make it work. Veigar comes in with the TP. As now TSS Trainer is rolling in on Shin, just shoving down lane now. Oh, the hook misses from Nautilus. But man, this bot lane is just action-packed. Okay. This is where the action is for sure.
Oh yeah, TP from Viger. He's gonna stay down here, make sure everything's safe. Maybe a little push.
Yeah, it's risky business though because that mid lane turret is super low for Spawn a Baron. So at some point they're gonna have to get back and clean that up. It looks like Kog'Maw might be going there. Ornn is roaming down now to stop Kassadin because that mid lane turret just needs a few more hits and will go down.
Yeah, that's good teamwork, good communication.
Yeah, in comes the Ornn as Kog'Maw is dropping some artillery, pushing that Kassadin back. Yeah, the late game for Spawn a Baron. I mean, as we see the Veigar just get stacked, we're gonna see a lot more cages and a lot more ults and a lot more just deletion. And if they can get rid of that Jinx with that attack speed, I mean, I think it's gonna play out. We're kind of in a bit of a stall. I mean, the Drakes are definitely in the favor of team on the right, but they still can't crack this bottom tower, even though they've been able to shove this one in as much. They've had that help from Holy. As now we've got Kog'Maw in mid lane going up against Kassadin, but Kassadin is super low, so a little bit of a lane swap going on here to mix it up, as we've got Flurry in the bot lane with Veigar, with Zyra, trying to cage off this bot lane duo. And it looks like maybe Kog'Maw has just rotated to mid to push Kassadin back.
Yeah, sometimes those matchups just work out a little bit better. Now they're all going back. Veigar buying a few more things. What's he building into here? He's got the Everfrost already with a little bit of glaciate action. He loves slowing people down. What else? What do you think he's building next?
Well, I think what they're... Oh, there goes that mid lane turret. I'm curious to see if they're all about to start setting up for this 4th Drake. Now, Whirlwind is getting chunked down a little bit here as Kog'Maw is on the chase, rooted down, but able to get away. I wonder if, you know, Spawn a Baron hasn't really contested many of these Drakes early on. The ult coming in from Whirlwind is going to take out Kog'Maw. Zyra is so low and looks like a tower dive might come in. Although those plants are doing their work. Someone's going to come in and get this kill, and it's going to be Whirlwind, so they're getting some kills to the ADC. That tower is getting taken down, and that's going to leave that Drake in just a minute as they're going to reset. Probably come in to try and take this 4th Drake for team on the right.
So not only are they proving that the dragons help out, they are also running that Nautilus. He helps out too, guys.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to have that. I mean they've got a very tanky support versus the damage dealer support in that bot lane, and they've been able to shove this wave up consistently to apply that pressure on that bot lane. And you can see that there hasn't been a lot of tower damage done in the bot lane from Spawn a Baron. So Shin is now pushed all the way up into that top lane turret as well. They're going to try and get all 3 first round turrets down as this Drake comes into play. I think we're going to see a big fight. We know Shin can show up whenever Shin wants to. And I think we're going to see a big engage here. Let's see where that go button is. Lots of vision for team on the right as Jinx throws out a little bit of a jab. Down come the seats for Zyra. TSS doing some body blocking here. So we're just doing that standoff. I was wondering if this was going to happen. Everybody's just kind of waiting.
Yeah, Shin's got his teleport ready. He'll be down there in a second.
Kog'Maw's cleaning up a wave, applying pressure to the mid lane turret. Maybe they're going to try and let some damage go down as in comes the Ornn ult to knock everybody back. Nothing happens off that one as Mishka takes out Kassadin. Looks like we got a lot of deletes going on here. Cannon Teach is low. Bulldog Mentor is down. Cannon Teach, can they stay alive? Volibear just trying to stick alive. MG Flurry with the cage. We're splitting up the offense here as Magus Dave is going at it. Oh, Magus Dave is taken out by... Blah. Everybody's taken out. I mean, I was just watching that duo, that fight between Magus Dave and Mishka, and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that really kind of went 50-50.
Yeah, that was just back. Yeah, Shin came down there, got zipped. The other ones, you know, were smart and ran off, but they got knocked out too.
Yeah, we just saw that Jinx did not get out in time, as now we've got Beginner's Mind is getting caught out. Unfortunately, that timely Shin ult, and now Flurry is caught out as well. TSS is in here as well, but we're not going to be able to see much coming in as Nautilus is going to back up. Look at the damage that Ornn is able to sustain in this fight, but not able to get away either.
Wow. Yeah, they were just knocking him, and he was not hurt. And now, was this a redrake?
Yeah, I think this is a redrake. Yeah. So it's an interesting fight. I mean, a huge fight there. Both those teams ending with only 2 players, but I wonder if. Oh, look at that! Zyra
they
with the
stole it. He
steal.
was waiting.
Nicely played. I mean, that, you know, a little bit of a life back in you, and nothing hurts more than getting stolen, especially on 4th Drake. So the mental game's coming out.
Yeah, they're not gonna give up, go out without a fight. You know, we're gonna reset up. We'll let y'all redrake, and we'll just steal it.
Right. Thanks for setting it up for us, and we'll finish it. So yeah, that Drake fight where they both ended up with 2 champs left. And then Will Win was taken out, and it just kind of looked like Spawn and Baron wasn't really sure what to do. They didn't quite have enough damage to take out the Drake themselves, and they kind of just stuck around a little bit too long. You see Ornn getting pulled in from Nautilus, Veigar dropping the cage, Mishka and Veigar coming around the side. Are we going to see Ornn is, oh, great play. TSS Trainer takes out Nautilus, and this is going to change things up immediately, as looks like Spawn and Baron is going for a huge engage as Ornn takes out Kassadin. Magus Davis going low too with that ult from Zyra. Shin is out, and all of a sudden Will Win is looking low as well. Can they get that Cogmaw artillery off? They can't, but that's okay because Volibear is there to soak up all this damage. Are they going to chase? They might chase this, and that could lead them up to a Jinx ult is down. So huge fight there in the Spawn and Baron jungle.
Yeah, I saw them chasing each other around. I thought they would just kind of go to lane and not engage. But these teams are engaging. They're not afraid to engage. They see each other. They don't like each other. They're just going to start swinging.
Yeah, I think we've seen this in a couple other Spawn and Baron games. They play for the late. They play to sustain, and they change it up, or they turn it, or maybe it's just their play style is, you know, we get to 25 minutes and we turn on. And all of a sudden, we're going to see that mid lane turret go down pretty soon if they can push a wave up there. You know, they're down in gold. They're down in kills, but they just showed that if you get us in a team fight, we've got the chains to knock you out.
Yeah, and they got a good comp. They got good players pushing the right buttons. Here we go again. They're fighting again.
Yeah, Mishka over the wall, trying to get out with the ult going up, and that's going to stall out Kassadin. Kassadin gets out of the way. So big fight happening here. Got some pings saying, let's go Baron. Zyra is out of the mix for the next 30 seconds. Let's see if they try to make this thing happen. They're going to go for it. Now we just saw a Drake steal. Can we see another steal for Spawn and Baron? This one would be so clutch as MG Flurry getting caught out by Kassadin, and that's going to just knock them out, but that's going to also take Kassadin out, getting caught out in that bush as in comes another huge fight in the top side jungle, but everybody backs off. Baron is low at a quarter health. That mid lane turret just went down. They're going in for another engage here. The Ornn ult in. Red team has slain Baron Nashor. Are they going to be able to get out of here with anything to save for it as Beginner Mind flashes out? But they were able to take out a couple Baron buff champs on that fight as Beginner's Mind gets hunted down. And that's going to put us on Zyra in the mid lane to hold off this Baron buff.
Yeah, it's so important when to know when to engage that Baron fight, when to just let them have it.
Yeah, let's see that Volibear.
Figure out what's going to happen next.
Yeah, as people are coming back, everyone's coming back to the fight. That cage is important here as, oh, that cage just The cage in that Vhagar as the flash comes in from Vhagar to just knock Jinx out of the fight. Cage is so useful, so much utility there to zone, to capture, and to trap. But yeah, that wave clear from Volibear is just so potent. As Kassadin now is moving into the bot lane to shove some waves. But we're hitting the 30-minute mark, and I mean, they're taking objectives, but again, I think we're going to start to see some more team fights that Spawn Baron wants to pick. They just need to get some more vision and try not to get caught out as much. We've just seen them getting caught out in some of these bushes, and that's starting the fights a little too early for them.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't have too much of a level lead on Spawn Baron. You know, 1 or 2 kills, couple waves, they can catch right back up.
Yeah, that TP coming in here as it looks like we're going for bot lane backdoor on Drake. Can they get it? Mishka is there. That is Drake number 4 for the red team, but the fight is about to happen. Vhagar is not here for it though, as down goes Kassadin, and Volibear is in the fight. Everyone's in the fight. Here comes the Vhagar Comet with the Jinx triple kill. Nicely played. Vhagar trying to get out of this one. Barely able to get away, so 2 still alive. The Baron buff is still going strong. Nautilus is pulling that one in the bot lane as well as Volibear. They're just trying to try and hold this off on this bot tower.
Yeah, and then a team play like that, you know, other team gets way more money. They're starting to get that gold lead almost at 10,000, almost doubled on the kill lead. They're not going to, Spawn Baron's not going to give up, but they need to do something spectacular here real quick.
Yeah, we just saw that nice hook coming in, that damage that just came out from Vhagar though on Volibear. As Volibear comes in, Volibear has no ult, so they're not going to shut the tower down anytime soon, but Flory has taken out Nautilus, but they're hunting for Flory, and in comes the flash from Amumu, as it looks like Bullet Games on that Kassadin might go down here, but the Jinx Rockets just come in to get the ace. So Jinx is popping off in this later game. They're knocking out inhibs and turrets. And with timers like this, they're going to start shredding these turrets.
Yeah, exactly. And you saw just those 2 little team fights, and that level lead jumped up quite a bit, and it was a great game. Spawn Baron never gave up. Excellent job, guys. Good to watch.
Yeah, super fun, and it looked like Spawn Baron really wanted that engage, that combo. They had a couple of them. That Ornn ult came in, knocked everybody up. They wanted that late game, that huge damage from Zyra and Kog'Maw, but it just looked like the team on the right had the run at the beginning, and they were able to run that early mid game, and they won that race in the end. So GG's for sure. Well done, both teams, and it's not over yet because we got
So
another one coming.
what does that bring the Spawn Baron and Team of the Right records to?
Let's pull up our standings here. I believe both of those teams were looking to get their first dub out of this game. So the team on the right is going to be able to take a W in that one, and Spawn Baron is still trying to get that elusive first win in this season.
They'll get it. They got a lot of talent. I believe they'll have a night where they
Yeah,
get that win.
and we still got plenty of games left. I mean, this is week 3. We've got 7, so there's plenty of games to go, and then we still have the playoffs as well. So we are sitting here. I'm going to be checking in on the comms for the other teams that we've got. Hotline Ping and Imyordles coming up next in about 15 minutes or so. And yeah, so Rick, what were some of those turning points in that game? What was it that kind of like really stood out to you? Any notable team fights, or did you see anything happening?
Well, those dragons, I mean, you know, they did count. They did matter. And every time they set it up, it wasn't a situation where they were just barely setting it up. They had the vision. They knew they were going to knock it out real quick and get out of there. Their dragon play was great. Their teamwork, their communication, those TPs. I mean, there's so many things, but I think that bottom team fight, where 3 out of 4 of the people with teleport ended up down there, that's probably the changer. Where after that, it was just knock them out. Let's go.
Yeah, they did a really good job of setting up those taking advantage of the wave states for those Drake fights. Um, they had that advantage down there where they were able to shove that bot lane in, which opened up that Drake element. And we did see the first two Drakes, I believe, were just kind of handed over to say, you know what, let's let's not engage in that right now. Then we saw that Drake steal. That fourth Drake was picked up by Zyra, um, which clutch play, able to get that steal. Amumu was in there as well, and I think Amumu kind of went in. They refocused on Amumu a little bit, and that opened up the door for Zyra to take that Drake. And that's where we kind of saw a little bit of a shift going, and Spawn of Baron was really starting to unload some damage from that Veigar and zoning from that cage. But in the end, it looked like that Jinx attack speed was just unstoppable.
Yeah, exactly. And they're maybe just a minute or two behind. If they had that power just a minute or two earlier, could have been a different story. But they didn't stop. They didn't give up. They were going to the end. Even Vagar bouncing around at the bottom, trying not to die. They weren't going to stop. So I like to see that play.
Yeah, solid plays. We saw some. I'm just remembering now that Shin getting out of the way of that Ornn ult with probably 2 health left, able to dodge everything going on in the top lane. But the TPs, I mean, that is definitely something I haven't seen in this season, is the TP play from both teams. I mean, Shin's got that global, but that was so clutch. There were so many fun matchups down in bot lane that were TP fights, and we just haven't seen that.
Yeah, get everybody into the party. You don't need somebody up top just smacking minions. Let them kill some people
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I don't want to lane swap. I don't want to split push. I want to get in on the fight. Like, take me off the island. I'm coming down.
Exactly.
All right, so hold tight, everybody. We will be back in just a few minutes while we get loaded in for the second game. Um, I'm gonna queue up a little holding music here. Um, yeah, let's get a little something going. So yeah, bear with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm gonna check in with these other coaches, but we're not going anywhere. Um,
That's right. Stay tuned
yeah,
for
stay
Thursday
tuned.
night Coach Rivals action, a triple header coming right at you. I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back.
All right, everybody, thanks for sticking around. We are just gonna get loaded in for our next game in just a few minutes, as we will be making our pro drafts. So thanks for sticking around. We'll be back in just a little bit. We got another game coming up, Hotline Ping versus Imyordles, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
And I'm back.
Welcome back. Just making some games. We're gonna make some custom games coming up in just a minute, and our pro draft should be coming up shortly. Looks like our next two teams are still finishing up their games, but we've got another one coming for you: Imyordles versus Hotline Ping. So, two teams that to look at our. Hey, Rick. Hey, that's you. Chatting with the folks in the chat.
Making sure everybody's good to go.
Let me get everybody in here.
That'll work too.
Getting jazzy as we wait, trying to calm down. You know, I think post game you got to calm down, especially when you got another one coming.
Yeah, exactly. That first game, I was a little foggy. I had a little accidental 4-hour nap, but this game, I'm, got refreshed, got hydrated. Look for a little bit more excitement.
Yeah, fun times all around. I'm curious to see what comes out of this next game. That game kind of changed the pace. Dragons aren't that important. It turns out last game, Dragons was very important. Dragons were very important, and that was definitely early on the minds of the team on the right. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this next one. If Hotline Ping or Imyordles has a tactic in mind, and we'll see how it plays out. As you mentioned, it's always interesting to see as we start to see these teams, mix it up in coach rivals. They pick different champs. We saw a bunch of champs we haven't seen in any of these seasons, any of these games this season so far.
Yeah, these guys, I was eavesdropping on a few of their practices earlier this week, and their game planning. They're practicing different champs. They're doing a lot of different things to get that other team just a little bit off guard. Maybe throw little surprises in there. Hopefully they won't be ready for something. Which, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think these guys are pretty much ready this week to go.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting to watch. We got. Okay. So yeah, we're just waiting on the other team, waiting on one of these teams to finish up their earlier game. And then we'll get moving on this next one. So let's talk about who we've got coming in. So Imyordles and Hotline Ping. I am curious to see where there might be a little bit of a gap going into this one. So we've got our the Hotline Ping's ADC is looking at a Plat 4, and the Imyordles ADC bot lane. It's a gold plat kind of like flex area going on. So I think we're gonna see another banger down in the bot lane um, as a potential pinch point in this game as well. See a
Yeah,
lot of coaches.
definitely,
I was just
definitely.
gonna say that we see a lot of teams put their highest level player in that ADC role. Um, and what we haven't really seen in some of these is that crackdown in the bot lane. Um, and so, it'll be interesting to see if Daddy Kai is able to maybe change that up in this one.
Yeah, Daddy Kai's my coach in the Learning League, and he's taught us a lot, and he is very, very map aware. He's ward aware. He knows positives, negatives for pretty much every single champ. So I look for his skill as a player, but also his skill as a coach to come into this game.
Oh, it looks like I also just was informed that somebody got a bingo in the first game. So if you get bingo, the cards are in the chat. If you get bingo, just let us know in the chat. Send us a message. Get in touch with you. But yeah, there's a prize. You get a Hex Tech chest. So we'll do one in each game. First one to get bingo in each game. But I think we got a winner in the last one. I just found out. So it works. But yeah, grab bingo card, play along, and of course, keep us up to date in the chat of how you're feeling about these matchups and these comps. Um, because yeah, as we get into this third week, the teams have been playing together for a couple of weeks now, so they're starting to kind of mesh together and get some fluidity. So we're really going to start seeing, one thing too we might start seeing is these ranks that we started out with at the beginning of the season. People start to climb a little bit. It's a bit of a difference when you start playing uh, as a group, right? Team play. It's a very different than solo queue play.
Yeah, absolutely. Team play is key. And one of the things I learned from last year's season is I might have been in the bronze 3, bronze 4, but my knowledge grew every week. I had great players who told me what I was doing wrong. Let me figure out how to be more effective up there on the top line. And the same thing with these guys. Even though they're in the competitive league, they're still learning every week. They're learning each other. They're figuring out little tips and tricks and things they might not have known. So these first few games are going to be interesting. The very end of the season is going to be a totally different matchup.
We've got Orn here. Welcome, Orn. We got another one, Big Breakfast, don't worry. We got another matchup coming. Hotline Ping and Imyordles Game 2 happening in just a few minutes. The other team they are finishing up their previous game, so we'll get loaded in when that happens. And we've got Cannon in as well. So a couple players from the last game joining us in chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yeah, it's a banger of a night, folks. So grab a bingo card and settle down with some nice, relaxing jazz. And Rick, myself, happy to be here. I think Pathfinder is going to be showing up in the next game as well, or the game after that. So it's going to be a fun one. Yeah, those ults from Orn, nicely done. Good play for sure on dropping those ults. Nicely done. We saw the orange stuff. We saw you doing the combos. We saw a lot of combos going down there. It was just a fun game to watch. It'll be thrown on the YouTube later. We'll send it over there tonight or tomorrow. So if you did happen to miss that game, don't worry, you can catch it. Just search Coach Rivals on YouTube, and you'll be good to go. Yeah, Shin. Yeah, the damage coming out of that Orn was impressive. The damage coming out of Jinx was also impressive. There was so much damage coming out of that game, and those two tanks, the Nautilus tank, the Orn tank, there was that fight at the end where Orn was being chased in the jungle, just walking away as it took 3 to finally bring him down, but also able to pump out that damage too.
Yeah, that tankiness was nasty. And then able to just come back and pop them in the face and take some bars off their health. That was insane.
Yeah, and Ornn does have that utility, right? Uh, upgrading your champs, but also that utility that's coming in from those combos, from being able to drop that ult and then redirect it. Um, Griffin's welcome. We just saw team on the right face off against Spawn and Baron. Team on the right was able to get the better of that game. Uh, Took it in about 35 minutes or so. Uh, Good job, Uga Booga Dubu.
Ooga
Congratulations. That was
booga.
a, it's a solid name there. I'll reach out to you. Congrats on the bingo. I'll add you as a friend, and then we'll connect. And we're giving away a Hextech chest to anyone who gets a bingo first. Bingo in each game. Um, so yeah. So congratulations to Uga Booga. So grab a bingo card. I'll drop it in the chat again.
I've seen that bingo card. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Got to get some Cloud Dragon kills. Team gets a Dragon Soul. Really good card. Really good card. I like this.
Well, big
Patty,
thanks
Patty
to
made that?
Patty.
Yeah, thank you, Patty. This is an excellent bingo card.
All right, let's see. We've got
Should have Rift Herald released in the river for a triple bingo score or something.
I think Pathfinder might be here. This is super exciting. Let's
Yes, I am.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome, welcome,
Yeah.
welcome.
Sorry to miss the first game. I rushed through the expressways just to be here. Glad to be here. Pumped to do your play-by-plays. And yeah, we're just real excited.
All good. Let me get you into the lobby. Yeah. Pathfinder is a coach out of Texas, and I know you're excited to be here because Rick, where are you from?
I happen to be from Texas myself. This is sure to be an awesome cast. The Texasness is just overflowing.
Too much Texas. It's never enough.
No
Texas,
such
right?
thing. No such thing.
But yeah, so
Always
welcome
bigger and
Pathfinder.
Thank you.
So what part of Texas you hailing from, Mr. Pathfinder?
Houston. So
Ah, yes.
I was supposed to be here but maybe like 10 minutes ago, but somebody decided to crash their vehicle right on the exit that I was supposed to turn into. So
Oh man,
That's
I lived in
unfortunate.
Houston for 5 years. It doesn't matter if somebody crashes or not. The traffic's insane. It's stupid.
yeah, still not as bad as a 010 Yasuo, might I add.
It's not as bad. Chaz, I just actually dropped posters for this season in the shop. So new season 2 posters are in there.
Yep, support us by buying our merchandise, following us on Twitch so that we can get partnered with Twitch. And then the sooner we get partnered with Twitch, you can give us your Twitch Primes and your Twitch subscriptions if you're so inclined to do so. So we really, really appreciate your support and thank you for tuning in.
And we're getting there. Get a new one for each game if you can. They're a bullet. And take a screenshot. But I'll message you. Just ping me. I wrote down some names. I got Ooga Booga on the friend request, so we'll reach out to them. But yeah, we're getting Hextech chests for the first person to bingo. And thanks for sticking around. So, here's a question for everybody: Is everybody listening to Rift Happens? Because if you're not, you should. It's a CR Coach Rivals podcast that's run by a couple coaches. So check it out. It's all about League. It's all about this season as well. They talk about the patch notes and all that stuff. So if you want to stay up to date on what's going on in League of Legends and this season, check out Rift Happens. It's the Coach Rivals podcast on League of Legends, which couldn't really find a lot of good League of Legends podcasts. So I'm just excited. That's hosted by Justin and Ronnie. Um, yes, and if you're lucky enough, you might actually get called out by name in the podcast.
Yeah, and absolutely. You can check it out on Spotify. I myself tend to listen to that podcast a lot when I'm stuck in traffic with nothing else to do. Really brightens my day as I can kind of sense how League is constantly evolving. And very interesting thing about patch notes, we have 2 new items that are in the works right now, as well as a lot of significant changes to items such as like Stride Breaker, which is going to really shape how the next patch and how the meta of the next patch is going to change from this one. So if you guys want to be updated on all those, check out Rift Happens, RIFTHAPPENS, available on Spotify and other platforms. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's you can search it at Rift Happens. It's on Spotify. It's on Anchor. So if you go to Anchor, Anchor is a great podcasting site. That's where we run it out of is Anchor. But yeah, it's on Spotify and is it on Pocket Cast? I don't know. We have to check on that. I know they do a distribution, but I'll write that down. But it's also, if you go to the website, it's sitting on the homepage as well. So we are getting loaded up. I'm about to make this pro draft for everybody, and we should be getting going in just a few minutes. Thanks for sticking around with us, everybody. We got a fun one coming up. I mean, all these games are fun. It's always fun to see these coaches from around the country. I mean, we got East and West Coast coaches working together on these games, coming together to play as a means to better their own students and learn from each other. This is the competitive league, so it's these are ranked bronze and up. We also do a learning league, and then we also do Rocket League season that's going on right now too, and you can catch that at on Tuesdays on this channel as well. So I'm dropping these in the chat, spectators. You should be able to see them. And we will get loaded up in just a hot second. Just bear with us as I pull this up. All right. So casters, let me know if you're able to see that pro draft. All right, we got a new link for the bingo cards. Thank you, Coach Patty. Appreciate it.
Pro draft is up over here. Looks like they're logging in now. Should be getting started soon.
Solid. All right, thanks again, everyone, for sticking around. Triple header this evening for Coach Rivals. A couple makeup games coming in. The one after this is going to be Team Tragedy for Death Cap for Cutie. One of the best names I've ever seen. I just thought that was so good. But yeah, so Pathfinder, super glad you're able to make it. You're coaching with Coach Ronnie, is that right? Out of the Texas.
Yeah, that's
Texas
correct. So it's very nice to coach with Ronnie because you have multiple perspectives, especially in the way we construct our draft, the way we follow up on our picks and bans. I would say that this like relationship and teamwork that we have is directly contributed to the Bish Bulldogs winning their first ever Texas Taps Championship, and couldn't say it enough. I'm really proud of the boys and the work they put in, as well as the research we contributed to our paths, let's say, to winning this tournament. It's been a really long road, but I think everyone's happy and everyone's getting rewarded with a really big trophy which Ronnie tells me is still in the mail. So
Yeah, I heard that.
I'm hyped to see that.
Yeah, so and also let you know, I just kind of completely slipped my mind. So super congratulations, Taps champions. We've got coach of Taps Texas State champs, Pathfinder, coaching with Coach Ronnie. So big shout out to the whole crew over at Bish for their state champion. That's amazing.
Yeah, congratulations, Bish. That was just that was great. I loved watching that whole thing unfold, and super proud of you guys. Y'all got a great program down there.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
exciting because Ronnie asked me to help cast that game, and so I was like, yeah, of course, why not? And it was super fun to watch. And so my old school that I coached at a couple years ago got connected to Bish, and they were kind of like scrim teams. So it was really fun to come back and hang out with y'all and be able to cast that game. So big shout out and congrats. Um, looks like we're just about to get going here.
Hey, sorry, Koopa. Where's the pro draft link again?
Oh, it's in the. Oh wait, are you in our? Did you get my invite to the? Um, are you in the? You're not spectating. Ooh, I thought I invited
Ah,
you in.
okay.
Did you get my invite?
I did not, unfortunately.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, well, we're having these technical difficulties, let's just say. For whoever caught the Bish like Texas Taps finals game, if you can recall, the game was hanging on a knife edge for 35 minutes in both games. Probably even more so in game one. And what eventually decided it was during a very late Baron fight, our LeBlanc managed to completely one-shot the enemy Lilia before she could even Zhonya's, and that eventually converted into a team fight win, Baron secure, and a game end. But as the game was progressing through the mid game, it was teetering and tottering with like one team going out and like winning a team fight only to be aced like immediately, like 1 minute after everyone respawned. It was actually one of the best games I've ever watched, even though the players aren't as accomplished, let's just say, as like people in the LCS and in professional leagues. You still have that factor of not knowing what's going to happen next, and like the suspense, and like you want to know what happens next, right? So I think it's really, really entertaining, especially like seeing the diversity of players in both the Texas Taps and in Coach Rivals.
Yeah, I mean it was super fun to watch. And like you said, they're not necessarily in LCS play, but the talent is definitely there. And yeah, I mean all these kids are super great. And yeah, I mean it's just the plays are there regardless of the level, and I think that's what's super exciting to watch at all of these levels of play.
Yeah, Koopa. I mean, give them 5 years, right? Who knows? Maybe we'll see some of these players, being in 100 Thieves and like TSM, because that would be absolutely the dream.
Oh yeah, I mean, my goal when I was coaching was I just want to get a kid a scholarship, right? Like, just get them on that path, get them moving towards, um, pro play, or just realizing that there's a legitimate scene outside of what was super fun is now. I sent it to you direct, BT Dub.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep, got it.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on
But I was just gonna say, like, there's plenty to do. Beyond just what you thought was just this fun thing to play, right? So, um,
yeah,
and now they're
absolutely.
doing it. Kids are doing it in college. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're trying to make this more of a generational sport, because we want eventually esports to be on the same level as, the NBA or football. And, that would really be a dream come true for kids of this generation. I can personally speak for myself in this belief. But why we do this is so that then this generation of kids can graduate off to college and promote esports there, and then we start the cycle again with a fresh batch of kids coming into high school, and eventually the cycle repeats itself up to a point where there's going to be a really like booming esports, both in viewership and in competition industry, and it'll solidify League as a generational esport instead of something like Among Us, or maybe Among Us is not the best example because it's not really an esport, but we want League to be a generational sport instead of a trendy game that lasts for
Exactly.
5 years.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that with parents just lately. Oh, here we go.
We got
Oh,
the draft going.
And the first ban, Zoe, is banned right out. Bye bye, Miss One Shot. And Hotline Ping with a Garen ban in response, and then Bard immediately banned out by Imyordles. So far, it's a pretty mixed bunch of bans. We'll have to get more information to see how these two teams will construct their respective drafts. And looks like a Nocturne gets banned here. As you know, Nocturne very, very strong, both in top lane and in jungle. His ultimate has the ability to completely obscure vision, and it can turn tides in team fights. And we see Udyr banned out and Fiddlesticks banned out. Both really, really strong junglers in their own respect. Udyr with the ability to, have high movement speed, can spam out CC while power farming really quickly. And Fiddlesticks with that really, really powerful ultimate, multiple fears, can really turn a team fight around. And Imyordles with the first pick being Lulu.
Ooh.
Very, very, very good support here, especially since she was slightly buffed in a couple patches before. Very good first pick here. Let's see what Hotline Ping picks in response.
Yeah, so I think it actually might be Lulu top.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Lulu top is very strong, and looks like Hotline Ping picking Olaf, maybe trying to mitigate some of this crowd control for a better engage. Certainly not a bad pick at all, considering that he's also has pretty good jungle clear, pretty all around. In general, pretty good gank potential as well. And we see Pyke picked as a response to Lulu, maybe not as a response to Lulu's support, because as you said, he could go top, but see, it's a very more aggressive type comp from Hotline Ping. What do you think the ADC is going to be, Koopa?
I think it's gonna be Ash.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What a prediction, am I right?
Oh,
That's a
I just
very
don't know
good
where
deduction.
I don't know where it comes from. It just came to me.
Oh yeah, as you can see, folks, the way Imyordles is constructing their team composition, they're playing a lot more defensively. You see a lot of tankiness, a lot of support, healing, and shielding, which is in a direct counter to Hotline Ping's relatively aggressive archetype, with the Pyke hook and the Olaf ultimate. And we see Vayne as a counter to that tankiness, because as you know, Vayne, one of the best scaling ADCs, does true damage. So even though Rammus still has a very potent taunt, the true damage helps to, in essence, mitigate some of the tankiness that Rammus has, especially in his kit. Let's see, and we see the second round of bans starting out right now. And Hotline Ping starts out with a Xerath ban. Xerath, very annoying mage, very high range, has good CC potential, and I think it's a pretty good ban because a stray E in a team fight, if it hits the Vayne, that'll just ruin the Vayne's entire team fight. So, and Set as well, another kind of lockdowny champion that you can just press R on and it completely takes somebody out of the equation from a fight. So Hotline Ping very concerned with protecting their ADC with this comp here, and Imyordles, or Imyordles, apologize. They ban out Malphite and Orianna, two very powerful team fighters, and we see Cho'Gath picked by Hotline Ping.
Yeah,
And I
that
think
that Orianna can really do some serious damage in just utility and can be a
Oh yeah,
huge problem.
absolutely. Because Orianna
Love
and
her ult.
Malphite, right, with their
Yep.
respective ultimates, they can have access to the back line, maybe nullifying the tankiness of Rammus and Lulu entirely, because their ultimates basically pick
skip it. They just skip it completely.
yeah, they just skip the
Yeah.
front line. They just go straight in the back line. And we see Vi being picked by Imyordles. So maybe they're is this a flex pick Rammus or a flex pick Vi? Because I can't figure
Who
out which
knows?
one is going jungle.
Yeah.
Oh, and that Nico pick for mid lane seems that Lulu is going support after all, Koopa. I mean, I was believing that they might do the Korean Lulu top strat, but it seems like it's gonna be good old Lulu support.
the chat
Now, Hotline
the chat
ping.
doesn't agree with anyone. Everyone's in flux right now.
Vi top, yeah, someone in the chat just mentioned Vi top, and that's a really good possibility. And now we see Galio as the last pick for Hotline ping. So, in some cases,
Oh,
or in some ways,
it's
Immortals and Hotline ping have pivoted their respective picks and bans so that it actually has both defensive and offensive options. With the Immortals having Vi and Nico, very Vi is a very engage heavy champion, while Nico has really good team fight potential, AOE damage, and crowd control. While Hotline Ping, they opt for Cho'Gath and Galio to be essentially their beefy boys, right? And Galio, they can either ult the Vayne to keep her safe, or even follow up on a Pike engage by the Pike pull plus Galio E combo, which is pretty potent as well. So I think it comes down to how these two teams execute the respective comps, and which will decide the game for them. And I think Hotline Ping has very slightly better scaling because of the Vayne and because of the two beefy boys. But we'll just have to see.
yeah. So guarantee that Rammus is going jungle. The Rammus player for Imyordles is Mesreth, and he is a very accomplished jungler who loves the Rammus. So um, yeah, that's going to be something to look out for. In the last game we saw with Imyordles, we saw a lot of just, I guess, crafty play coming out of that jungle play. Not afraid to engage, to invade a little bit, to steal some raptors here and there early, and just show face. So I expect to see that again in this one, um, and we'll see if it can pay off. But this
Yeah,
is yeah,
absolutely.
I mean that huge Rammus tank rolling down the lane. We'll see how that
Yeah,
plays out.
that's what's great about Rammus. He can go all over the place real quick and get to where you need him. And he's look for some cool ganks this game.
Yeah, coincidentally, the Bish High School also has Rammus as a primo pick for our jungler, and I would argue that the pick won us a couple of near unwinnable games because in one instance, Rammus just decided to go in 1v5 with that reworked ultimate, and he completely tanked like the attacks of 5 people without dying. So this champion, especially post rework, has so much potential to carry, more so I would argue than he did before his rework. And with the jungle changes, a couple patches ago that restrict the jungle XP and the timers, where they make farming not a very a less viable strat. Let's just say, which it's still a viable strat, but less so. Rammus' speed would really, really help in like gank situations, especially post 6 when he has that ultimate.
hmm And it looks like what we can't see is, yes, that Olaf is jungle. One thing we definitely saw coming. So um, I'll let the skin game show everybody where the rest of these champs are going. But yeah, I think this one is going to be fun to watch as we see how much potential. Uh, yes, Canon. It is literally the only thing that matters is who's got the best skins. So, but yeah, I mean, this is going to be an interesting one to see. Can Rammus be Rammus and just run around and knock people up, stun them, shut them down, and then soak up all that damage as a sponge? But there are ways to get around that, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. You see a lot of disengage potential from the side of hot, Hotline Ping, because Vayne with the ultimate that conceals her and the Q, she can like dash away, and it's gonna be ultimately up to how good the Galio and the Cho'Gath like stops the Rammus engage, that's going to determine if Rammus will have any access to the backline at all, as well as positioning and where they are in the map. But yeah, very very excited.
Rick, what are your
That
thoughts on what's going on as we had same brain as you were just about to pop in?
well, last match, at the beginning of the game, we saw very, very respectful, standard 5 up at the front. Looks like he got some speed here. We might see some invades. I love the invade. Love to see something cool like that at the beginning and then get into that little less exciting laning phase. But we'll see what happens. I'm ready to go.
Less exciting
Honestly,
laning phase. You mean CS isn't exciting?
That's what happened to me, man. I played top, and it was just like I got in like I was hypnotized or something, and then all of a sudden, hey, other things are happening on the other side of the map. I need to do stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
we haven't seen a true. I haven't seen. I can't recall a real true invade attempt yet in this season. Um, I'm waiting for it. It is on the bingo card. So,
yeah, careful what you wish for. Next thing you know, there's gonna be a level 1 pentakill.
one
Yeah.
can only hope.
Yeah, speaking of things I actually hope for, I want to see one day some teams in coach rivals um, try something wacky. Try Rammus support, Lulu top, stuff like that. So something that your opponent doesn't expect, and as a result, even though it might not say be the most efficient of picks, they if you're unable to change your playstyle in response to the different archetype your champion is playing up top, for example, it's actually very hard to deal with because Lulu top in Korea is actually a very very good pick, and cannot wait to see that in one of these games in Coach Rivals.
Yeah, and well, there was a game that wasn't on the stream, but it's on the YouTube. It was secondarily cast by Robbie, uh, also I believe out of Texas. Um, and it had a Morgana top, and it was kind of like what you're saying. The player was playing top, but was a support main, and so the comfort pick of Morgana was the better pick for them, right? And so that totally can throw you off, just like you said. If especially if you're a top main and you don't flex around, all of a sudden you see something you never play against in the top lane or the bot lane. What do you do, right? Like, I don't know how to play against this. I don't ever see this champ, right? Teemo Chungle, Chaz is totally a thing. Halo Blades Teemo Chungle is broken. Just stay alive to 3 and you'll be okay.
Yeah, Timo staying alive for till 3 for me is the problem.
But yeah, you can totally Teemo Jungle. My best Teemo game ever was 100,000 damage game Teemo Jungle, and it was super fun.
Yeah,
Menko one's got a
absolutely.
vid on it, but it's totally viable. Teemo goes everywhere. Teemo is the little Mundo.
Especially if you can put a minefield right in before an objective spawns like Elder or Baron, and then in low elo they don't really use sweeping wards a lot or control wards, and you just see the health bars disappear as like they go on 1, 2, 3 mushrooms, and you just laugh internally because like you win the team fight even though you just put 3 shrooms down.
Yeah, you add that preliminary damage that just shuts them down early. So we are 45 seconds away from getting started. So we're going to run our pre-roller so we can give these teams their just due. And we'll be with you in just a second. And I believe we're coming back to the skin game.
You based in Houston too?
We are back.
I'm in.
Oh, and yes,
We are
they
back.
are.
Yes,
Everyone's out
I'm
of
in
Texas.
Texarkana, Texas, up in the northeast corner. I've been all over though. Good to cast with you today, hailing out of Houston.
Yep. And now we see which skins the teams have. Oh, we're
Oh,
already in
it
the
was
game.
too
That was
fast.
quick.
Ah,
That was very fast. Somebody has a load of Samsung SSDs in their computer, I see. All right. And you
We're
mentioned
not playing on school computers, so I guess that's good.
yeah. You guys mentioned the possibility of an invade, and let's see here. So far, both teams they're doing the 5-point configuration, not really going for anything aggressive.
Yep,
We
this is what
see.
we've seen all season. Just being a little bit of respectful to each other.
All right, we see maybe a small invade up in the top side, but then Olaf spots the Nico, decides to back off. A ward placed for the blue team over on red buff. And then a counter ward placed by the red team. Maybe it's to ward off the possibility of a Rammus counter invade level 2. You never know. They have potentials to do that.
Minions have
But
spawned.
so far, business as usual here for both teams.
Yeah, they'll fill each other out, and we'll get to some action here pretty soon.
Oh, on the mid lane, Nico morph into Lulu there, and for a second, even I was duped. I thought that was Lulu mid, and I was like, no way, Lulu mid, Nico support, dream come true.
Yeah, my icons are messed up on my middle of the map too.
that was the Nico coming in with that little diversion tactic, throwing everybody off.
All right, small fight there on the top side, but Vi, very good burst, especially with the Hail of Blades, wins that trade. Reverse trade on the bot lane, but nothing to mention in the early stages of the game. Hotline ping with a 100 gold lead, which instantly got nullified.
Little fight in the middle.
Yeah, now we see the differences between these two junglers, right? Because as we see in the bottom side, Rammus already only cleared 2 camps, while Olaf has already successfully cleared 3. Olaf is a faster clearer than Rammus. We'll see if he's able to use this advantage, maybe clear the scuttle crab early, maybe try a double scuttle, or even a top lane gank, but there is a ward that placed by Vi to nullify that potential. Yeah, the way Olaf is posturing, he might be looking for a gank because Vi just goes in and takes half of Cho'Gath's health. Thank you very much.
Here we got Rammus up here looking for something. He's waiting, being sneaky.
Oh
There
my
he
god,
is.
Pyke TP down from the top side, but it's already first blood for the Ashe. The TP is nullified by mid lane, but now we have a counter gank up on the top side. Let's see if Olaf can get that slow onto Vi. Yes, he does. Vi has to flash out, and is there going to be any opportunity? Nope, no kill opportunity for top side. And you can see, guys, the Pyke, right, just went in. Literally, the second Rammus revealed himself on the map, which is really, really saddening because you know if he did that eat away, there wouldn't be a death. But now Galio getting ganked by Rammus, counter taunt to counter the taunt, and he walks away with his life, but he's at a significant health disadvantage with no teleport. Now let's see, fight happening on the bot side. Polymorph goes down so that Pyke's stun does not land. Good damage on the ADC, however, and now we see a 1v1 on the mid lane. And Olaf with a higher level and red buff manages to take down the Rammus. The taunt did not result in anything here. And Olaf, you know,
Gets away with the kill and onto the Raptor.
absolutely. Still, Team Red still at a 500 gold disadvantage now because of the sequence of events that happened down in bot. And we see here Galio having to walk all the way back in lane because he tried to teleport bot to save his bot lane, but unfortunately it was disrupted by the Nico route. So far. I will say though, the early game gank from Rammus was perfectly timed. That's just a really good killer instinct play from Rammus there, whether it be a lucky coincidence or not. The Galio response was very fast, but as you know, when Nico has the root up, there's no way you should be teleporting out of the lane. As Pyke tries to get the Q off on the Lulu, doesn't quite manage to do so.
It's like these junglers are going for a fight again, and Galio's getting into the blue side jungle too. They're all over the place.
All right, it's gonna be a matter of who's gonna be there first. Olaf having to flash away for his life. Vi does reach the fight first, or doesn't even reach the fight, I should say. Does Olaf get away with his life here? He misses the Q. This could be really, really important. And yes, with the taunt, Rammus gets the Olaf in the end. Perfectly calculated there.
Retribution.
Yeah, very, very, very aggressive play. I like that under tower dive.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
And they're
It's
still
almost,
looking for him and can't find him.
yeah, it's almost like it's revenge for the solo kill from Olaf a couple of minutes earlier.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes that aggressive revenge tactic works. Sometimes it'll mess you in the butt. So you got to make sure you're killing people, not just for the sake of killing people.
Absolutely, and also since Rammus doesn't farm that well, that gold injection from killing Olaf has really good potential to convert to a lead.
It's like they're setting up for the dragon.
Yep. The first Drake is going to be an Ocean Drake. Not particularly important on its own, but it does secure a Drake point for whichever team secures it, which is a very good early game objective if you're planning to win the game off of Drake, so to speak. And then Rammus? Oh no, it's actually Nico. He tricked me too. Rammus was actually on the red buff. But that is a Drake picked up for Hotline Ping. Cho'Gath manages to stop that recall by Vi on the top side. Very cheeky.
Yeah. Contest there. They went in. They got it. Not a lot of vision around. Pretty textbook.
Yep. And now we see here Olaf taking both camps at once. Very good use of this Q. And because he can manage the aggro of both camps at once, it actually speeds up the clear if he does that. And now we see gank potential on the bottom lane, but Ashe doesn't see it. So it was a very good delay, but then there's a counter gank by the Rammus. Rammus goes instantly for the backline, but so does Olaf. Olaf with the ultimate, but gets immediately exhausted. Olaf left by his team here because of the TP down from Vi from the top side. Now there's going to be a fight in mid lane. Between Galio and Nico. It's going to be a punching match, but then Vi is coming up to the mid lane because she just finished taking out the enemy bot lane. And it's going to be a net win for the blue team here. Imyordles really, really living up to the name of being immortal, except for that one solo kill on the on the Rammus, of course. But really, really great job from Imyordles using their superior summoner spells and timing to get themselves an advantage.
And speed. These guys are all over the place. They're already starting another. Another.
Okay, flash stun from Pyke. But then his ultimate is also flashed by Ashe. And now it's going to be a 1v1 for both ADCs. What a stun from the Vayne player! And no chance for Ashe. She's already used all of her summoners, especially since the gank before. Wow, very, very good solo, duo play from the bot lane of Hotline Ping. And now we see Olaf. He sees the Herald being taken here. However, Vi is going to have priority over Cho'Gath. So we'll see, is it going to be a steal potential here for Olaf? It is possible. Very, very close, but in the end, Rammus is the one who secures it.
Yeah, just letting them know they're there. Not gonna steal it from us. We'll just let you beat it up, but you know we're here. We're not going away.
Yeah, I must say that play bot lane from the duo Really, really clean. Perfectly calculated, because they know, right? With Rammus' speed, you know, he's everywhere, but then once they've had indication that he wasn't bot side because he was taking the Rift Herald top, they aim to do that 2v2 play, which is quite ballsy, but also well executed, especially by the Pyke player who flashes in. Now we see Herald being deployed up top, gets the plating, but not much else. Yeah, nothing doing here for both teams. No kill opportunity either. So
They were ready for that Herald to be dropped and they came down. It did take a plate, but you know, they handled it quick.
yeah, I mean the Herald basically just gave them 320 gold in terms of plates, and you see that in the translated into gold lead, which is 2,000 gold in favor of Imyordles. But we do see that the first Drake went to Hotline Ping, and additionally, you know the power of scaling Vayne. So still a very close match, folks. Can go either way.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started.
Absolutely. Cannot wait to see the insane Vayne plays in these team fights. Alright.
Tiger got everybody getting back into position. A little bit of river action, setting wards, getting set up for this
Vi
next
using her ultimate to try to engage on the Cho'Gath, but Cho'Gath is so darn tanky. Will Vi run out of damage? Oh, but Rammus going in with the reworked ultimate. Let's see if Cho'Gath can turn this around. That's gonna be a kill picked up on the side, but
close.
now we see a fight happening in the bot lane. Vayne gets the Lulu, has to flash out because of Asher's damage, but perfectly calculated from the Vayne player. She survives with 10 HP. Oh my word. They managed the damage so well there because you see the Vayne flashing out, Pyke being aggressive as soon as the Vayne flashes out. Really, really good teamwork from the bot lane of Hotline Ping.
Yeah, it looked like Vayne was going to disengage and he just turned back around and nailed that Ashe.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta nail that Ashe.
Pop that Ashe. But on the side of the top lane, it is a 1-for-1 for Cho'Gath, so it's not a painful loss for the side of Hotline Ping, especially since you can see the Galio managing the top wave, and now we see Rammus once again going for another engage on the Olaf. Olaf having to blow flash and ultimate to try to get away from this engage, and now we see the Mountain Dragon is up. Very, very important dragon for both sides because Mountain Dragon contributes so much to Rammus's stats and like tankiness.
They're getting a dragon that looks like they got some people coming up on them, try to mess them up.
Yeah, Dragon's taken really no contest here from Hotline Ping as Vayne using the E to make sure Rammus doesn't have that taunt opportunity. See, we have a small fight going up in the top lane. Vi using that shield to tank the Cho'Gath knockup.
And all of a sudden, things are pretty even. 6-6, 1 dragon to 1 gold. A little bit ahead of on the blue side, but we're coming back.
Absolutely. I will say though, the side of Hotline Ping has a slight XP lead over the competition. Not by much, not significantly, but it will transfer to a better mid game if they can keep it up.
Yeah, that's what we saw last game. I think it was Baron had a little lead on the XP, and then just within a team fight, it was switched, flipped over real quick.
Absolutely, since XP or the stats you gain from one level equate roughly to about 300 gold, so it's almost like you're getting a kill, right, by leveling up. That's why it's so significant to keep your XP above your enemies. Alright, as we see, small fight there going on the bot lane. The Pyke pull misses. And as we see Galio maybe going for an gank opportunity from the bottom side. Alright, Pyke going underwater, engages on the Ashe. Both flashes instantly spent, but Pyke has no follow-up because teleport's coming in for the blue team. Galio now tanking. Can Vayne do enough damage to turn the team fight around? Pop ultimate by Olaf, and what a taunt from the Galio player! And his ult got polymorphed, but Vayne is just free hitting in the back line. Ashe is gonna fall next. It's just gonna be the support left. Triple kill for the Vayne. It's gonna be a quadra kill for the Vayne. Huge money injection into Daddy Kai. What a play.
That's my coach. That's what I'm talking about. He saw that whole thing. He set it up. He knew it was going to happen. He said, let's go. And they got the kills.
Absolutely, the Vayne positioning in that team fight was absolutely phenomenal. Nobody could touch her, and just because of that, she was free to deal damage to both the front line and the back line. She also did she switched targets appropriately as well, and like prioritized the targets like a real true diamond level ADC. Although I'm not sure she's diamond, but wow, what a fight! Really, like she's putting on a clinic on how to play Vayne right now.
Yeah, Daddy Kai is platform.
Oh, you could have fooled me. You could have said Diamond 4 and I would totally believed you, as we see Pyke disengaging with an E. Nothing doing. But now we see the momentum swing greatly in the favor of Hotline Ping. Now the Vayne is, ultra fed, 700 gold shutdown, picks up the Kraken Slayer as well as some accompanying items. Makes this champion really, really strong. And we also see the gold lead swing 2.5k in the favor of Hotline Ping as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's just in just a minute or two switched again.
Yeah.
And we'll see them push and continue that lead, I think.
I also must say kudos to the Galio for that taunt, Olaf for the ultimate. They also positioned in such a way where they basically body blocked the enemy team, not allowing them access to the Vayne in that earlier team fight. And you can see the defensive power of Galio, a really good teamwork, especially on the side of Hotline Ping. And if they can keep this up, basically Vayne is just going to infinitely scale it to be a late game monster, which is very worrying for Imyordles. Alright, receive Vi, clearing vision up in the top lane, nothing doing. There's only Cho'Gath up there right now. Don't think there's much to be done, as we see the next dragon coming up soon in less than 30 seconds. We'll see what team would be able to take it, and it is going to be an Infernal Dragon Soul, which is very significant for both teams, especially for Vayne, because Vayne benefits so much off of increased attack damage, especially since it converts into extra true damage in team fights. Small skirmish up in the top lane, but Cho'Gath is just too darn tanky.
Yeah, you can hit him, and those little bars are just going down a little bit. Not much.
Honestly, I would just conserve my mana at that point. Right, and both teams posturing. Yeah, they're posturing for the Drake. They're securing vision. Nico with a good amount of poke onto the Olaf. Oh, but very aggressive flash here for Vi on the top side. Puts a full combo down onto the Cho'Gath, but he's so tanky! There's nothing doing! And now we see the dragon being taken from the side of Hotline Ping. Can Rammus field it? No, he can't. The unstoppable Olaf dies too quickly, though. As you see Vayne on the back line trying to deal damage, but Pyke with that ultimate. Still, it's going to be a double kill on the side of Imyordles, but unfortunately the support picks up both kills. But crucially, they did not kill the Vayne player with a 700 gold shutdown. So I'm thinking it's kind of still a win for Hotline Ping here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Still when they got the Drake, and now they're just going back and gonna do what they're saying. I was really looking for a TP for the top lane, but didn't happen.
All right, as we see
Cho'Gath late.
Yeah, forcing out the heal from the Ashe. Ashe neatly dodging that Cho'Gath knockup. I don't think she can kill the Cho'Gath at all. Yep. As we see Nico now finishing that Hextech rocket belt. Very good item. Lets her reposition to facilitate her ultimate. But as we see earlier in that earlier team fight, now we know that if Olaf can get isolated before the team fight and die relatively quickly because he doesn't have Sterk's Gauge, Imyordles can still win fights because in the side of Hotline Ping they rely so much on the Vayne to dish out damage, and when she's unable to, and now we see a play on the bot side, taunt onto the Vayne. Already had to pop her heal. Okay, very clutch save from the Galio, and Daddy Kai goes legendary with that play. Can they turn? And the Vayne gets donated the kill on the Lulu. She also gets double buffs. Huge plays on the side of Hotline Ping. What a clutch Galio ultimate. Saves the Vayne within the last second and nullifies the flash. Oh, the
Man, I
Rammus.
tell you what, I thought Guy Daddy was gone. I thought he was just gone, and then they turned it around. They pulled together. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
insane. Way to go,
absolutely.
Galio.
And also props to Daddy Kai for realizing that a turn is possible there. You know, some Vayne players wouldn't have gone for that, so a very, very impressive play from Daddy Kai. And honestly, she's getting fat checks right now. Just gonna transition really well into the late game as we see the mid lane turret getting taken down here. Yeah, and we see the Vayne now the Phantom Dancer has been picked up for the Vayne. She's just gonna continue scaling to become very, very scary monster indeed.
Yeah, Zinran on this Galio's just doing what he's supposed to do, getting that tankiness, taking some shots.
Yep,
That
absolutely.
mid play is doing great. And now they gather up for the push. Looks like they might be going up to Baron.
Yep, Baron's definitely very crucial for both teams here. Imyordles need to find a way to stop this scaling potential by the Vayne. We'll see if anything happens here, but English teacher takes a tower shot. Not really anything much happening in the mid lane because they'd have to wait for the next wave to crash through. Alright, as we see Pyke here with the pull, goes wide because of Rammus. And now both teams, they're posturing. They know, Hotline Ping knows that they don't actually have to force a fight here. They can just let the Vayne infinitely scale, wait for the dragons to do the heavy lifting for them. Right, but as we see now, engage onto Galio. He's not very tanky. Vi having used her ultimate with that chain CC. Vi takes him down solo bolo. That's the power of Vi, folks.
Yeah, she can just punch the snot out of you and get your health to nothing, and then you panic, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, let's see. Chain CC onto the Pyke. Pyke has no response, and that's two members of Team Hotline Ping already dead without any response. Can Imyordles turn this into a Baron or a Dragon?
This is a good turnaround spot. I mean, they knocked out that tower. They almost got tower lead. Just get this dragon, and they've still got a chance. It's not over yet.
Oh, there's gonna be 5 people in the bush strat. We shall see if either team gets caught out by this strategy. It's very risky to have all players in one spot because you get the stealth. However, you can also get wombo comboed with that Galio ultimate. Right? And we see the side of Imyordles starting up the Drake. Pyke is alive and able to join the fight as Vi gets 3 hits on the Drake, but nothing doing. The Nico poke doing some work as instantly into the backline goes the Rammus. But Rammus is already dead because of true damage. Galio dead on the side, but then nobody's getting the Vayne. Nobody's getting Vayne. Vayne is still alive. And now because Vayne is still alive, she can just free hit everyone, and that's gonna be a quadra kill on the side of the Vayne.
That was incredibly sneaky. It looked like they were on the ropes, looked like they were going down, and then he just did a little forward lead, take a left, go around the rocks, and he got him.
Rammus got absolutely melted in the last team fight. The Gwynsu's Rage Blade picked up on the Vayne, doing so much work there. They're unable to reach the Vayne in the backline because the Vayne, with the stealth and the mobility, it takes more than just one good CC to hit the Vayne. And another problematic thing about the Rammus engage was he engaged into, the entire enemy team basically, and Galio was able to get a taunt off and prevent access to the backline with that taunt. So really well played there on the side of Hotline Ping, and maybe Imyordles, they kind of need to wait it out a little bit more. You know, pull the trigger a little later. Wait for a better chance to get access to that vein. Force a mistake out of them.
Yeah, and that's where at this level you gotta capitalize on those mistakes. You gotta look for them. They're gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Since the next Drake is gonna be Drake's Soul, right? And you know, the windows for making mistakes is slowly getting closed on Imyordles, because if they lose this next Drake, that's gonna be an infernal Drake's Soul for the side of Hotline Ping, which is gonna be huge for that scaling power of the vein.
Yeah, you're already seeing the vein do work. I mean, you don't want that vein to do
Absolutely.
more work.
Alright, engage right onto Olaf, but Vi is alone. There's gonna be a TP on the side, but then Rammus, million miles an hour. The Stair Cage gets popped on the side of Olaf, but he manages to exit the fight. Vayne on the backline with the stopwatch, nullifies the ultimate, but then it's gonna be a chain CC onto the Vayne, but the shutdown gets consumed by Lulu, but then a huge Pyke ultimate to kill 2 members of the team. There's gonna be a third. Pyke is getting fat checks here. Is there gonna be a fourth? Absolutely, Rammus is gonna die as well. There's gonna be a fifth! Pyke! What a play! Even though they lost the Vayne early on in the fight, Hotline Ping, they recognized the potential of winning that team fight. They still went and took the fight immediately. They didn't get discouraged by the Vayne dying, and what an impressive play from the Pyke. Huge plays being made here in Coach Rivals.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You know, once again, we thought they were out, and they didn't give up. They turned around, they saw the opportunity, used everything in their power to get out of that fight and win, and they just knocked the snot out of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Immortals threw everything they had on the Olaf, but Olaf managed to go like with a sliver of health, and then they threw everything at the Vayne, and then they managed to kill the Vayne. But then the Pyke, you know, with the stun, with the great sets of ultimates back to back, absolutely clean. I think that Pyke must have had a TI-84 on his desk, because that was just absolutely beautifully calculated.
Exactly. Calculation.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, this bot lane duo is putting on a clinic here. As we see now, Pyke getting taunted by the Rammus. There's gonna be some time needed before a follow-up is here, but then Vayne re-hitting the the Rammus, and Rammus without any support, unable to solo kill that Pyke. Yeah, no follow-up from the team of Imyordles means Rammus dies for free here. Let's see what they can do with that man advantage and the Baron buff.
Yeah, he stretched him out a little thin there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as we see, now we see the kind of the split push going around with Cho'Gath, but at the same time, the Ashe is actually finished split pushing bot lane, and Ashe picks up a pretty significant chunk of XP here, as you see a wave collapsing on the mid side, but 2 auto attacks just took away like half the health of Nico, and we see Olaf going unstoppable, but he can't reach the Vi. He's gone too far into the turret. Right, but so far, very good use of the Baron buff here to push the top side all the way in, as we see the 1-3-1 with the Galio, or the 2-2-1 rather. Galio pushing down bot side, and are we gonna see an engage from the Vi? Yes, we are. However, the Cho'Gath is so darn tanky, and the feat to get the Vi really impressive here. Vayne gets polymorph, but she does so much damage. She forces the flash off from the support, and there we have the teleport coming into the mid lane from the Galio, just to make sure the ADC doesn't die. Wow, you see that power of the Vayne in the late game coming alive here. She is fully online.
Oh yeah, and she's not even the highest level on the board yet.
Absolutely, but Vayne with that Guardian Angel makes it so much potent, because the Guardian Angel just already resurrected the Vayne there. Really good investment from the ADC to not give away that shutdown, but then there's gonna be an engage 1v3. Rammus goes for the Vayne, but the Pyke fat stacks with the ultimate, gets the Rammus, protects his ADC, and a very aggressive flash here by Olaf. He stride breakers in, but that true damage manages to take down the Lulu, but then it's gonna be a 2v3 for the side of Imyordles. Cho'Gath not very low. Pyke ultimate! You gotta be kidding me, because Pyke just killed 2 people with that play. Wow! Absolutely calculated. What was that?
I have no idea.
Every
If you got
single
epilepsy, you don't need to be watching this game. It is crazy.
like every single time Imyordles thinks they're gonna win a fight, the Pike just goes in and presses R. Now we see Cho'Gath taken very low, gets his shutdown donated by the Nico. But wow, Rick, I haven't seen this many Pikes be this clean, especially on like a stage where a lot is riding on this one game. So wow, what a clinic put on by Pike here.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by this Spike play. I don't even know what I would do against him. Just die.
Yeah,
Stop
absolutely.
feeding.
Ched,
Stop feeding.
Ched, if you want a duo queue, hit me up. My IG is Pathfinder, and the E has a little accent on top of it. But yeah, honestly, the Pike with the absolutely calculated plays, that's got to be demoralizing if you're on the side of Imyordles, because they see so many opportunities to win the team fight get stolen away with really good consecutive Pike ultimates. And yeah, I don't know. That has to do some form of mental damage, as what I said.
Oh yeah, the ups and downs. You think you're about to win, and then you don't.
Yep. And now massive gold lead here for the side of Hotline Ping. Whopping 14k gold. That's really very hard to come back from, Rick. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know they're right close to the Nexus. They're close to the fountain, but it's not over yet. Not over yet.
I like the restraint here by Imyordles, because they know they already have the top lane pushing in with the inhib down. They don't have to do anything hasty. They just have to get objectives, play cleanly, and the game is going to be served up on them on a plate. We see the Vi engage onto the Galio, but she was deleted immediately! So now the Rammus goes in. But they coordinate the engage kind of not together, and because of that, Vi able to free auto attack in the backline, and it's going to be an ace for the side of Hotline Ping, and I think the game is over. They have nobody left to defend.
Yeah, that was the Rammus aggressiveness. You know, I've seen that work, and it's been great. But you got to have the rest of your team there, and there goes the Nexus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good game, good game.
I think one of the issues with that last team fight is when you see Vi engage, right? It's almost as if the team didn't really expect there to be a potential to engage it, because you see the Rammus kind of freeze up for like a second, and it's like, oh wait, it's my turn to go in? So they had a little bit of trouble chaining the CC and layering, the CC to make the team fight a win. But I think it's also because of the insane gold difference. Basically, in that last team fight, Vayne just slapped them around with her wallet, like literally, doing true damage in the form of gold. So very, very, very well played for the side of Hotline Ping. Best of luck for Imyordles for their next game next week. But yeah.
Yeah, that was very exciting. You know, like I said, Daddy Kai is my coach in the Learning League, and he's taught us a bunch of stuff. It was great seeing in action. 16, 3, and 8. Heck yeah.
Absolutely. Very clean plays from both, I think, the Vayne and the Pike. But looking at the damage charts, it actually seems to me that Ash did more damage than the Vayne, because of reasons unknown.
Well, you can just hit that Cho'Gath over and over and over. She was hitting
Yeah, you have a
Cho'Gath
point.
forever. But yeah, you just didn't kill him.
Yeah. Just yeah, maybe I should learn. Maybe Ched should just teach me how to play Pike, because I just feel like playing Pike after this now, seeing the cleanliness from Pike on display here at Coach Rivals.
Yeah, like you were saying, it's calculated play. It was excellent play. Um, it wasn't an easy win for sure. It was
Absolutely
entertaining,
not.
and definitely learned something from watching that one.
Yeah, like I like to say, I think that bot lane had to have basically 110% brain usage to both like win the lane and convert the lead into a win, because yeah, no, like those insane Vayne and Pike like plays, yeah, I'm just, I'm at a loss for words. I don't see this every day.
All right. I mean, I was just sitting here, just chilling, watching, and just like, oh, ah. I mean, there were so many plays in that game. And like you said, back and forth. It started off Hotline Ping was on the back burner, but then they just turned it around with that Vayne mobility. I mean, that mobility was insane.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. On that note, since TSM has let go of since Double Lift retired for TSM, Daddy Kai, maybe they need new ADC here because you know, lost. No, definitely, maybe trying to live up to Double Lift, but not as good. So maybe Daddy Kai there can give him a lesson on how to play Vayne. Maybe it's Daddy Kai who taught Gosu how to play Vayne originally.
The teacher has outperformed the master.
Exactly.
The teacher has now become the master.
Yes, I'll be looking forward to Daddy Kai's merch appearing in the TSM store a couple of days from now.
All right, we are getting loaded into our next one. The other two teams are just settling down. I'll be inviting everybody in, so stay tuned. We are coming back with one more, the final game of the night. So don't worry. There was a lot of chatter going on there. You guys need to get some water or anything? I mean, whew, whew.
I just
Nah, I'm good.
maybe need 3 minutes. I'll be right.
All right. Well, I mean, that was, I mean, I think we talked about it early on that Ramis, but I think the vein is how you, I mean, the speed on that vein, the mobility, the ability to escape and shred, the mobility. I mean, able to move around, like you said earlier in that game too, the ability to rotate targets when they needed to. I mean, it all came down as the game kept rolling on. But so many different lanes and players had plays in that Cho'Gath just would not go away. I mean, at
Yeah.
some point you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and I think especially there were so many crucial seconds in that game where a team fight was could have gone either way, only for a player to rise to the occasion and have like a brilliant like outshine moment during these team fights. And I think on one of the team fights where Ramus had an actual decent engage on the Vayne, the Cho'Gath silence actually prevented like enemy team members from following up on the Rammus engage, which like left them isolated for like a 1 second, right? And that 1 second, the Vayne used it to her full potential to basically just focus the Rammus and like take him out of the equation. So all these like crucial seconds, right? And you wind up thinking, oh, if Imyordles was slightly better at their execution, or if Hotline Ping maybe like fumbled a little execution here and there, we could have had a completely different game than what we saw here tonight, Coach Rivals.
Yeah, and early on, that game was just to the metal. I mean, there were so many fights early on, and they weren't just little trades. I mean, they were like all ins. I mean, there were some gank attempts early on for sure. I mean, it was hot and contested from the very beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you still watching, thank you very much for your support. Please leave a follow so we can be affiliated a little bit faster. If you'd like to support us, please check out the Coach Rivals merchandise store as
Yeah,
well.
coachrivals.gg. We've got info on what we do as an organization. It's just a big group of coaches from around the country working together. And one of those things is this seasons in the summer, where, as you'll see, there are a wide range of ranks in these games. And that's so that the high level players can help the learning and lower level coaches just progress. And all that does is help the students that those coaches coach. A lot of coaches get into esports because they love gaming or they love they've been gamers and then they get this opportunity, but they might be excellent at Rocket League, but they're also coaching League of Legends. So one of the cool things is this lets those coaches learn in a competitive environment just like their students would. So that's
Yeah.
one of the coolest parts of Rivals is you get to play in competition just like your students do all season.
So, me personally, I just want to say a heartfelt thanks to all of the esports coaches out there because when I was establishing my esports program for the high school, I didn't really have any coaches or faculty that was willing to help me. But you guys, people watching and also people who are supporting Coach Rivals and people who are coaches themselves, Trust me when I say this, you're helping to make high schoolers' dreams come true, and maybe even college kids' dreams come true by allowing them to do what they love in high school as an esport. Representing their school, having that camaraderie, learning about teamwork. So yeah, no, just a heartfelt thank you for all of the coaches out there, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a powerful thing. Like I coached for several seasons in Atlanta, and um, watching the kids come together. Some kids who were super good friends going in, and some that just joined up because they were excited and interested, and then towards the end of that season, they really do become a team, and it's great to be a part of making that happen. So I know Texas is a big presence in Coach Rivals, so it's exciting to have two Texans here tonight. You and Rick representing that big old state full of esports. So big they have two
Yeah,
divisions.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Texas, bigger is better.
some exciting things coming out. The UIL met. We might even actually be an official sport.
That's super exciting.
We should hear sometime this week. I haven't done any research on it today. I know Robbie was on it the other day. But if that happens, it'll change a lot for us. Like you were saying, we reach kids, we make friends, we give them some school spirit that they had never had. And thanks for saying thanks, because we do not hear it enough. Thanks all you guys.
And I know we've got a, bunch of coaches in the chat, so they are hearing that for sure, coming from you, Pathfinder. So I think there's also some non-coaches. So what's up and welcome. I know the coach word gets spread out, so thank you for joining as well. And again, you can watch all these VODs again on YouTube. We'll throw them to the channel. Just search YouTube, or just search YouTube. Just search Coach Rivals on YouTube. And also, of course, Justin, host of Rift Happens podcast, is playing in this match, Team Tragedy. And catch that podcast on Tuesdays as he and Ronnie go through the season, the games of the week, as well as the patch notes and all the things that you can learn from that. And they go deep into the inside of what's going on in Riot and League of Legends. So it's all good. Lots of things happening in Coach Rivals land and League land as well. So thanks for joining. And they are loading up, and we should be getting into the next game pretty soon. Team Tragedy versus Deathcap for Cutie. Uh, Excited. It's gonna be a good one. We got ourselves like a boxing match. We got three teams in one night, so super rad.
Absolutely. Um, Also, for all of the students of coaches watching this coach rivals match, so A, I sincerely hope you're actually out there. That'll mean the world to me. And B, say thank you to your esports coach. Trust me, it makes a difference. Like it recognizes all the effort they put through because esports still a little bit struggling to be integrated into high school communities, right? With maybe some parent pushback saying, oh, this is just playing video games. But trust me when I say this, these coaches are so passionate about esports, and they put their blood, sweat, and tears into the work, sometimes literally. um, so yeah, so if any of you guys are watching out there, you students, say thank you to your esports coach because that would mean the world to them.
Exactly. And getting back to something we were talking about earlier about generational games and making this something to last. When I first started this, didn't have too many parents even know what we're doing. And then these last couple of years, I've had League of Legends parents, trying to give me advice and excited their kids are playing these games, and it's starting and it's happening. It's going to be generational. It's exciting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. What if, on a Monday night you have Monday night football, maybe some basketball, and then, oh, what is that? It's Monday night esports,
Right?
Maybe you can tune into LCS, you can tune into college League of Legends, you can tune into, high school like varsity and junior varsity League of Legends. That would be an absolute dream come true.
Yeah, I think I recall a couple months ago, maybe it was mid-pandemic. Um, there was some esports hitting in the mainstream, if you will, on TV, and on ESPN. They were doing some, you remember how like Adult Swim became this thing for late night stuff on Comedy Central? Like esports was kind of making it into some highlight reels and some news. I remember seeing it become way more mainstream. So I'm curious to see. I think, totally prove me wrong on this. I think there's something happening at the Olympics that is
Oh yeah,
esports related, and if that's, that could be huge.
absolutely huge for esports in general.
But I mean, it's interesting because it's so big. A lot of places all over the world, and it's kind of like subterraneanly big here in the U.S. I mean, there's a big presence of esports, like we were saying, in these high schools now, and kind of underground, but you don't realize just how big it is until you start to get into that area, until you learn that Twitch exists, right? Until you maybe look around YouTube for it, you realize it's actually quite massive. But yeah, it just isn't sitting on that public field yet.
Yeah,
Um,
and on that note, colleges are actually starting to give out scholarships for esports players, and I do have a personal experience with this because even if when I was applying to colleges, I was only like a Platinum 4 player, but I've got like 2 3 offers back from colleges that wanted to pick me up as an esports, and then mind you, they're not essentially huge colleges, but it's the potential to have esports becoming as significant towards getting an education as sports. I think that's going to be huge, and I think that's going to be a huge motivator also for both kids and their parents to get into esports, right? Because then they could be well rewarded for all the work that they put in, just like normal sports players.
Yeah, and they do put in the work. I remember when I was making some information and presentations and such for parents, showing that there are pro teams with like workout routines that are legit, not just do a couple push-ups, but they're getting in the gym. Just like I think this was a team affiliated with the Texans. They're in the same gym as other pro team, traditional sports athletics, and
Yeah, and
um,
you also have like coaches or some players, they're actually doing like CS exercises where they go on like a champion that's pretty hard to CS with, like Karthus, and then they CS for 10 minutes in the mid lane, just CSing, just to practice their CS, and they're like, okay, I gotta get 95, or let's try to get 100 this time. So it's
oh,
very, the work they put in,
the
blood,
the
sweat, and
draft is
tears.
happening. They beat us to it.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, well, they're just going. We got an Echo. You got the link, both of y'all?
Yep.
Okay, great. We got Echo getting banned out quick. Just like the last couple games, just straight in with the immediate 3 bans. They know exactly what they're doing.
Like Echo, Sivir banned out. Sivir, very potent traditional team fighting ADC. Can be very hard to land CC on, especially with that spell shield. And now we see Ezreal, very, very powerful ADC, especially with the Divine Blunderer buffs a couple patches ago. He's becoming a hot shot in the bot lane. Now we see the Mundo getting banned out. Mundo can be very frustrating, especially since he got buffed in the last patch. And now we see Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser traditionally a champion that can just remove someone from the game entirely, so they don't want to have this potential team tragedy to have their ADC yoinked by the Mordekaiser or having to pay the QSS tax, as we call it. As we see the first pick from Team Tragedy, going to be Nocturne. Nocturne, very, very powerful in team fights, very, very strong engage. Um, just a good character all around, and with Stridebreaker and uh, what was that item called? Hysterics Gauge. He can be very sticky. He's not as squishy as you think he is, especially with that spell shield. Now we see Caitlyn and Thresh. They both lock in bot lane picks, so we know that Deathcap for sure is going for a very traditional type of like bot lane here. We'll see if Team Tragedy answers that with a counter, or perhaps they want to do a flex pick. Yep, 5 seconds left to pick. It's gonna be the Morgana. Morgana very good in both jungle and support, and as we've seen earlier, even in top lane it seems. This champion can be flex picked anywhere, but we see the Scion picked up for Team Tragedy, so it could be a Nocturne support, unless it's gonna be a Scion Ashe bot lane that I personally would love to see, but however, it's very rare to. And then now we see Gnar as the counter pick for Deathcap. Gnar, very, very frustrating for Scion because of that range advantage, and also because Gnar does a little bit of percent health damage, also with a little bit of mobility. So Scion, he'd have to play safe in lane, get as much CS as possible, get as tanky as possible, and that's how they win essentially the lane against the Gnar. Now we see Olaf already banned out. Jinx is going to be the next ban for Deathcap. Jinx, very heavy team fighting ADC, has the potential to take over team fights if she gets a reset. So that's a very wise ban. And for Team Tragedy, Orianna ban, another really good ban because of the command shockwave, really, really potent in team fights, especially being able to nullify the backline instantly if the shockwave as well enough lands well enough. And it's gonna be the last ban for Deathcap. Let's see what's gonna be.
The suspense is killing me.
It's gonna be Zaya. All ADC
Oh,
bans here. They put 3 bans onto onto Team Tragedy on the ADC, and then now we see Tristana getting banned out. There's gonna be very limited options for Team Tragedy here. Like off the top of my head, maybe they can go for like a Varus. Varus wouldn't be pretty bad. They could go for like heck. I would like to see a Yasuo ADC if that's possible, as Voli gets picked up here for Deathcap. Very potent and like both tanky and engage heavy jungler. The new Volibear ultimate, as you know, disables turrets, which means that Volibear can just stand in like raptors and then ult the mid lane turret for a very like a surprise gank, and it's very, very potent. Now let's see what Team Tragedy picks into this kind of heavy comp. And yep,
oh,
it's gonna be the
Varus.
Varus picked up. Varus, pretty good pickup here, especially with that um synergy with Morgana, because if Morgana lands a root, Varus can immediately follow up with his ultimate. So overall, very good picks here from Team Tragedy. Also good, and it's gonna be Seraphine is gonna be the last pick for Team Tragedy. So I think the way they're gonna play this out is gonna be CC heavy, engage heavy. Put down the Nocturne ultimate, get Scion to ult in while Morgana Q and then Varus Q. So it's kind of like a pain train kind of comp with plenty of CC and damage. While Ari is gonna be the last pick for Deathcap. And Ari, it's going to be a mid lane matchup against Seraphine, I'm assuming, if not against Morgana. Pretty decent matchup in the mid lane. It's pretty skill based, not very kill heavy. So we'll see how these picks fare out. I think Deathcap's strength is to have to take the advantage in team fights. So they have to get really good Gnar ultimate or a really good Volibear engage to be able to win team fights. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm looking for that Morgana mid. I played her there for a while. I really like it. That Nocturne pig. Nocturne's always scary. He's got a lot of movement. He can disappear. He can do all kinds of stuff to really mess some people up. Seraphine's annoying, and we saw Varus what he can do. So yeah, I think Team Tragedy's got the picks.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
and
respect coming out with those 3 ADC bans against Nishama, uh, the ADC over on Team Tragedy. What's interesting is where this Morgana is going to go, and that Nocturne will go. I mean, we've seen them in jungle, we've seen them in top, we've seen them in support, and we've seen Nocturne mid. I mean, that's what's actually going to be interesting is where these picks going to play, because I know that the support for Tragedy is a Morgana uh, main, if you will. She's flexed between support and jungle, but I think Morgana was the original champ there, so they might have gotten their comfort picks in this one.
yeah, especially since in the side of Tragedy here, you see the potential layering of CC, right? Because if Morgana lands a Q, that's almost like a guaranteed Varus ultimate. It's almost a guaranteed Seraphine ultimate, you know. So I think it's how Deathcap manages to play around this CC like chain potential that ultimately will decide how they win the team fight. But Gnar, kind of a one-man army when he gets into his rage form.
Yeah,
Um,
and the Ari, I mean, the charming ability, Caitlyn traps. I mean, there's a lot of potential stall that Deathcap has to just stop Team Tragedy in their tracks.
I will say though, a slight issue for Deathcap is that their only source of true AP damage is from Ari, right? But Ari also does like true damage on the side, so she's not like a very traditional like AP DPS mage, kind of like a Azir or I'm trying to think of anyone else, but yeah. But I think it may play out in the late game where if Team Tragedy can actually just get a couple of Thornmails, their eventual like advantage of having a more hybrid damage will eventually help them win out the game, because then their itemization doesn't have to be so sporadic. They can just build like their damage item, build Guardian's Angel in the case of Varus. That generally means it's going to be way harder to kill him in a team fight. Whereas on the side of Deathcap, right, they'll have to pick up maybe um, QSS and the um, Guardian's Angel to have that sort of um, ability to survive in fights. So we'll just have to see how this goes.
Hey guys, wish you all a great game. Good luck. I'm gonna have to miss this one. I had a little something come up, but go, 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 go.
All good,
Yeah, it's
Rick.
been a pleasure casting with you, Rick. Go Texas, of course, and we'll see you next time then.
Heck yeah, man. Let's do it again real soon.
Yeah, we'll be here every Thursday. All right. So yeah, so I mean, we've got our last game of the night. We got spectator delay hitting us with a 2 minute and 45 seconds rolling down. Chat's already talking a little bit about this. Yes, the flex picks. You know,
Our flex
let's
picks.
lots of yeah, all the I mean, lots of flex picks. We're gonna see what can happen in this bot lane. I mean, the last couple games, I've said this before. There's been a lot of talent in the ADC roles, and that's where a lot of these teams have put their highest level players. And we haven't actually seen a lot of sway. Now, Vayne opened up that door last game, but that first tower, I believe, was in top lane. So we'll see if this is another one of those bot versus bot lane battles where it's just kind of button heads and not a lot of headway, but those plays are made in the late game. And we'll see Caitlyn Thresh versus Varus Morgana. I mean, we're gonna see, we're gonna just see. I don't know. That's gonna be an
Yeah,
interesting
we're gonna
setup.
see high IQ against high
Yeah.
IQ, Thresh Hook versus Morgana Q. Maybe they do it at the same time. Like who knows, right?
Well, and then that
Um,
that Nocturne ability, right? Like we saw the power of a Nocturne ult. It's terrifying, and then if someone's low, in comes Nocturne. So that's going to be super interesting. Just like you mentioned too, that Volibear ability to just hop in, shut down turrets, make things happen. um, Gnar bouncing around. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of movement and then a potential for a lot of just CC stall.
yeah. On that note, I think the Nocturne ult is even more scary in this context because you had that much less time to react to a Scion ultimate, a
That's
Seraphine
true.
ultimate, a Varus ultimate, a Morgana Q. There's the like space for execution shrinks so much when Nocturne gets into that ultimate stance. So eventually, we're gonna have to see really good playmaking here from the side of Team Red to be able to ward off that Nocturne, the threat of that Nocturne ultimate. But on an interesting note, Koopa, you and Rick did game one. Me and Rick did game two, and then we've come full circle, and now you and I are doing game three.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of having a bench of casters. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's exciting to be here. And again, thanks, Pathfinder, for helping out with this, coming all the way from Texas. Such a commute.
Not a problem. And to everyone who's watching, thank you for watching. Your support really means a lot to us. Grows Coach Rivals and gives us the opportunity to be partnered with Twitch. If you smash that follow button, and
We're
if
getting
you're
there.
really generous and you want to do us a favor, go check out the Coach Rivals merchandise store, which will be plugged right now.
Yeah, coachrivals.gg, and you can learn all about what we do and check out the podcast that we got a couple coaches running all about League of Legends, and we are. I'm gonna try and get there in time to see the skins this time. I swear I
All
wanted
right,
to
yeah, let's
happen.
go. What
Go,
skins are they gonna
go,
be?
go, go.
All right, Super Galaxy Gnar, Mecha Zero
Transition,
Scion, Haunting
transition.
Nocturne, KDA, All Out Seraphine, Arclight Bears, Blackthorn Morgana. I think because Volibear didn't put a skin, he ruins the skin advantage for
Oh
the red
my
team.
God. Oh no.
Oh no!
It's 5v4 in the skins.
Exactly.
All right,
It's
y'all.
almost.
Thank you so much for being here.
All right, we see the game starting.
All right, party on. We've got ourselves last game of the night. I'm gonna go ahead and hope the client is is playing nice this time around. We've had some glitches, but thanks everyone for sticking around. Yeah, I'm excited about
Yeah,
this
I'm
one.
having the same glitch, unfortunately.
Maybe it's just that a little too fast on the load in. There
Maybe
we go.
Nocturne
There we
ult is already on.
go. All right, I think we're in. We're loading up. The summoners are hitting the rift. We'll see. I think we are 100% 5-point start. We'll see if that's the case for this one.
Yeah, I want to see that Morgana, Invade, Thresh Invade, these supports, they generate so much threat, but on the red team, the way they're pathing, I'm pretty sure they're going to go for an Invade. Look at this, very cheeky
Ooh,
from the
it's
Thresh.
very
Morgana's
sneaky.
going to be, yeah, Morgana's going to be alone in that bush. Let's see what happens here.
I'm nervous.
I'm holding my breath. The suspense
Oh,
cannot be larger.
this is not
See,
good.
Thresh Ward into Q. Thresh Ward into Q. Come on, let's go.
Ooh, get out of there. Oh,
Ah, that's gonna be
oh.
ah! Flashes blown for the side of Ari and for the side of the Morgana. Woo! Woo, that was hot. I need to see some more of that.
That
Woo.
was, I mean, there's so much. It's the size of the brains on the rift right now.
Yeah, honestly.
That
Oh,
delay from Morgana, just you could sense like, okay, are they coming? I gotta go. And then that
But I
just
like,
dropping
I
that
like,
binding. Oof.
yeah, I like how the Morgana bound first, waited to see which direction the Thresh hook is gonna be, and then flashed.
See ya.
Really good play. Like she didn't flash into the Thresh Q or anything like that. That would have been really sad to see. But yeah, pretty big brain here from the Morgana. It's sad the Ari charm didn't land, but
Yeah.
c'est la vie.
50 seconds in, right? We're already getting pulse rates rolling. Now the question's gonna be, the flash is down. Who's gonna make a play off of that, right? Morgana's flash is down. Ari's flash is down. Are we gonna see an early gank bot, an early gank mid to kind of capitalize on that?
Yeah, and as we see the Scion here putting down early vision onto the red buff, it might open up a potential for Volibear to invade right as he finishes his Gromp here. But so far, pretty standard starts here for both teams. Volibear already progressing onto this third camp. Yeah, but apart from those flashes blown in the early game, nothing really of consequence.
Other than just saying, hey, we're
Oh,
here.
wait, look at mid lane. That's a really long charm landed there from the Ari. Gets herself a favorable trade there in the mid lane. Sorry to interrupt your
Oh, you're fine.
train of thought.
No, it's just, you know, they basically said, we're not afraid to bring everybody down here. We're gonna be aggressive, so you better watch out.
Yeah. Oh, Caitlyn dodges the Morgana Q with an inch to spare. She got to thank the minion for tanking that one.
Yeah, and we'll see these comets coming in, maybe doing some chunk damage on Caitlyn. Oh, barely by a pixel
another
there
one.
too.
Oh, is this solo kill potential in the mid lane? I mean, Ignite is already burned, but nothing of consequence. I think Seraphine is just gonna TP back into the lane unless she wants to stay. It is a bit risky, but there is a way of coming into the Seraphine's turret, so we'll just have to see. And because
Big
of this, I
damage
think,
being dealt though.
yeah, but because of that, I think Ari will have the priority to help Volibear clear the scuttle, while Nocturne won't have any support from his mid laner to contest the scuttle. So we'll
Yeah, but
see
looks like
if
Nocturne might be
Volibear...
pathing up there. And good use of the Scry Bush there, because if they had just kind of walked up, that could have been real bad for Nocturne, as both Volibear and Ari were up there. But now they're both pathing down. We'll see if something comes out of this. Seraphine in the mid lane, moving out as far as they
really
can.
huge hook. Huge hook from the Thresh, but nothing comes of it. I think Caitlyn might have the potential to engage, but she opts in to hit the wave instead. And now you see the Volibear. He's going to the bottom side to clear his second Scuttle Crab, and that's going to be a really good early advantage here for the Volibear. Nocturne's going to come and gank mid lane. No flash on the Ari because she blew it. And look at the Nocturne damage! The charm lands, but it's going to be nothing doing, and Nocturne damage bags himself for first blood. Really calculated there from the Nocturne. I didn't even know he was capable of doing such damage in the early game, but I stand corrected.
Yeah, and that's that. I mean, that was what we were wondering, is if that flash play early on that invade is going to come back to haunt anybody. Turns out Ari, who's been just pummeling Seraphine in the mid lane, ends up taking the worst trade on that without that flash, could not get away from that gank.
Absolutely, because she pushed the lane up because of the advantage. She basically exposed herself to the gank because of the positioning, right? And beyond that, the Nocturne, right? He was supposed to be behind because he got double scuttled, but with that gank, he completely reversed the momentum of the jungle here.
Yeah.
So props to him for recognizing a play like that could be made. So yeah.
Whew. Intense. It's only 5 minutes in.
It's only 5 minutes in, and there's going to be big brain plays already from both sides of the team. You see that Volibear double scuttle against the
Ari
really
roaming
crisp gank.
very far
Oh, yeah.
into the jungle for a huge deep ward that Nocturne is not going to want. That's going to give a ton of information as they're going on this Drake. Gnar, big Gnar coming out, putting some damage on Scion. But it looks like we got our first Drake fight, which is just red team versus Drake.
All right, and yeah, you see Nocturne. He's back and recalled after getting that kill on the mid lane. Let's see. It's gonna be the first Drake picked up. Sorry, Cloud Drake for the side of Deathcap. Is that right?
Yep, Deathcap on red, picking up that Drake. Giving it away as let's see, Team Tragedy was pushed really far in her tower, not able to respond in any way. But, you know, Deathcap down a kill, down just a fraction of gold. And we'll see. Now, what's been happening up in top lane is Scion and Gnar been going at it, but it looks like Scion's been able to get some better chunk damage off of this Gnar. And we'll see if that comes into play. Big wave coming from Team Tragedy moving in. Finally getting some prio down there, but not a lot of objectives to set up for as they're going to try and reset this thing. Nocturne pathing around topside scuttle. Looks like we might get a collapse from Gnar and Volibear coming in here.
Yep, but Scion's there to follow up. Let's see what happens. Gnar's gonna enter rage pretty soon, and then there's gonna be a level advantage on the side of the Nocturne. 6. Let's see. It's gonna be the Nocturne also coming out. So does the Scion. Oh, it's gonna be a huge Q. But now it's gonna be a one-on-one. Seraphine joins the fight, gets the charm off onto the Gnar. It's gonna be a chain CC, and immediately Gnar goes down. Now, does Ari have enough damage to finish out the Scion? Scion
Almost.
defensively flashes away. Yep. And wow, series of blows being dealt here by both teams. I really like the way that Nocturne chose to use the ult to deny the vision there.
Yeah.
And the Scion ult could be a little bit better, but then he completely redeemed himself with like a Q that knocked up both the Gnar and the Volibear, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and
And,
short
yeah.
range on that Scion ult too to try and move in there, so not able to navigate. Once you click go, you're kind of just stuck with it if you're not running down river.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think what's important was the Scion was there first compared to the Gnar, and they were able to focus down the Volibear, even though the Volibear had the health advantage. The level advantage and the positioning eventually won Team Blue that fight.
Yeah, big engage. Both teams coming in on that contest in the top river. But that Ari too, the damage being able to be done by that Ari needs to be respected for sure. As we've got an interesting little thing going on here, both Ari and Thresh back away, so much roaming from this Ari. Not afraid to get out of lane when the lane is doing its thing and to take advantage of the map. Looks like Volibear though, going for that rift.
Is this Ari or is this TF? Because she's pitching a 10 bot lane.
Yeah.
Ooh, Thresh hook missed by an inch.
No TP, Ari has no problem moving around the map.
Absolutely. We'll see Volibear continuing to take that Rift Herald. It should be completed pretty soon, while Nocturne probably is planning to clear his jungle. So you see the Volibear, he actually forgoes the full clear to get the Rift Herald, and that's gonna be a good reward for him because it powers his back. And now, if there's no invade potential from the Nocturne, he can clear his camps pretty safely here. Pretty good play for the side of Deathcap. A lot more objective control.
You know, I think this, there's a question in chat if this is the first Gnar in CR. I'm not sure if Coach H just wants to rhyme, but I think you might be right. We've seen a lot of first time champs this evening. At least that I've seen in the streamed versions. I mean, Scion is low, and we'll see if Nar can
Very
maybe
low.
capitalize on this. Overstaying a little bit, or
Yeah,
especially with
Nar, can he just whip out the TI-84, land like a really good hop into auto Q combo? Ooh, that's gonna be really spicy if he can. But nothing doing so far. It looks like Sion's gonna get a back off. But now a small fight going there in the mid lane. Nocturne gets charmed, but then Ahri has to flash away because Seraphine ults there. Response from the Volibear, but you have the Nocturne ult advantage. Volibear is dead to Varus. They still have damage and takes down the Thresh. A huge Sion ult into Sion Q from Coach Magros. What a play! And then suddenly the only member left alive is the Caitlyn. That came out of nowhere. And it's going to be a flash Q from the Morgana to seal the deal. And the kill is going to be donated over to the Varus. What a clean TP into clean execution by that Sion. Putting on a clinic right here.
I think I'm gonna go back in time a little bit on that one on the stream.
Dude, is this the Baus FFS playing for the top side? Like I could have sworn. He just solo boloed 3 people. And that's gonna be Dragon picked up by the Nocturne. That's just gonna be even more rewarding.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Right, moving back into the real time. Just trying to get a replay out of there, but it's just too much action. But yeah, I mean,
no,
what a play.
Yeah.
And then to follow it up, you got one player left. Morgana burning the sum on that one, but taking everyone out, mental games, retribution for that early invade. You want to play with our minds, we will hunt you down.
Yeah, and I think a difference from this game than to the last was there's less, the roaming is still there, but there's less usage of TPs to get in team fights, right? And because the Ahri has the ignite, and then a lot of playmaking is happening on the top side. But I think additionally, right, once you see like the potential of that TP as we see a gank coming up here on the top side, Gnarl's not gonna stun, but it is gonna hit. I don't think Sion has anything else to do here because he has no flash. And yep, it's gonna be Sion taken out by a pretty good gank here on the side of Deathcap.
Still doing a ton of damage though, and might be able to.
Sound passive, but now the Nocturne comes in to try to reverse the gank. And is he gonna solo bowl the ADC? Yes, he is. What a broken champion. His Thresh is gonna be next. Oh my god. That ultimate coming in clutch so hard for the Team Blue. And now Herald is gonna be installed by Team Red.
Volibear almost goes down to a turret shot.
Yeah, absolutely. There's gonna be another plate picked up here. Yeah, nothing doing, but still, it's a pretty good use of the Herald. But I would say Team Blue profited off of this more than Team Red did, because that Nocturne ultimate, right? You get one gank and then you say, oh good, we got an advantage top, only to hear that like all alone sound come in, and then what do you see? Just this Nocturne coming in at 300 miles an hour, and you can't do anything.
Yeah, unstoppable, and you can't see, so it doesn't help at all. But
Yes.
we did see that, they traded with that rift. So having that early rift, they were able to lay down some aggression and change of the pace in the top lane. So they're cracking that top lane tower. They're down by 8. The gold
here, yeah.
blade is there, but we've seen that Ahri punishing damage from Ahri. So we'll see if there's a way to keep this one rolling. They've got places to crack this thing open if they can move that top turret down. And they're even chunking away at this bot turret, so it's going to be interesting to see how both teams navigate the mid game of this one.
All right.
Plates going to Coach Magros, Sion getting some gold, but yeah, just at the last second too. So Drake's coming up in 2 minutes. We'll see how both teams kind of set up for this. As Thresh is hanging out, waiting for that Nocturne.
Yeah, right now, I think it's like a moment of solace for both teams to catch their breath after that last play. The calm before the storm, as the next few objectives coming up is going to be the Rift Herald in less than 30 seconds, and going to be the Drake soon. But we see here there's going to be a significant gold lead for the side of Team Tragedy.
Tragedy, yeah.
You see a fight coming up in here in the top lane. Nocturne coming in a million miles an hour. Is this NASCAR? Is this League of Legends? It's NASCAR because Nocturne gets the kill on the Gnar. Now they're on the Volibear. The slow lands from the Q, but there's no knockup. But Volibear goes in. What does he go back in? Now it's going to be a double kill for the side of Nocturne as the bot lane even cleans up Caitlyn. I think that's the ultimate of Varus used in that fight just to clean up that Caitlyn. Huge win for the side of Team Tragedy. And what a tragedy for the side of Team Deathcap, because that just completely swung the already building up momentum to the side of Team Blue.
Yeah, fights in multiple areas of the map too, as you know, Volibear comes back online, Caitlyn comes back online. We'll see if they're able to do something about this, as Sion is caught out completely, but able to tank so much damage.
He has flash, but then he turns all the way back. The charm lands, and that's going to be an instant kill onto the Ahri. She did not expect two members, additional members, to be up there, and good on Sion for instantly recognizing that opportunity to turn there. Immediately, Ahri gets taken down without, you know, so much as fighting back is concerned.
Yeah, and Sion was able to just tank some of that damage, and it looked like, you know, did a great job of kiting and just kind of teasing Ahri into the face of the other two Tragedy champs.
Baited.
So I mean, just, you know, they had a little bit of vision there too with that scuttle, but just not able to see it in time. And Thresh was able to get away as that was coming online, but yeah, we'll see. It looks like Gnar is up in the top lane, so we might be getting that first tower for. Yep. So Gnar takes that turret. So by turrets, we're still at 1. The gold is definitely in Team Tragedy's favor right now.
Yeah, and we'll see. I think the Mountain Drake is already going to be up, and it's going to be actually an engage onto the mid lane. Nocturne hungry for blood, but Ahri tries to flash back in, can't get enough distance to respond to the Nocturne, and now we see the Mountain Drake getting taken by Varus. Very important Drake for both teams, because Mountain Drake empowers the Scion a lot in this case. And we'll just have to see. And blue team has slain the dragon indeed. It's going to be very good pickup by the Nocturne. Nocturne already uses ultimate, so he can't do much. But then it's going to be a huge storm landed onto the Morgana. Morgana unable to do anything. Good ultimate from the Bears. Let's see if they can turn this around. And we see Sion here. Is he going to be a choo-choo train? Yes, he is. He's unstoppable. Kills the Gnar. Bam! 2 members of the red team already dead, and it's going to be Thresh left. Team Tragedy, what a tragedy. That team fight is not what you want, because now the Rift Herald is going to be placed for the side of Team Tragedy. Actually, what did I say? Team what?
Going back and forth on the names.
Yeah, absolutely. Death Cap, more like Dead Team, by the way. That's what I was supposed to say. But that's gonna be 2 turrets for the side of Team Tragedy, who inflicted a tragedy onto the side of Team Red.
Yeah, and that fight, I mean, the Scion, I mean, I think it was said in chat, you know, it looks like I'm banning Scion. I mean, the play potential of just, like you said, the choo-choo train that is Scion, I mean, just shuts down that engage. They started that fight, they started doing a lot of damage, but then they were just completely taken out, and Tragedy just focused.
And I like how they took down the Morgana quickly, but I might have feel like they use a little bit too much of their cooldowns on the Morgana, because you see Volibear ultimate being used for the Morgana, and then when the choo-choo train inevitably comes out, they didn't have any cooldowns left to respond and disengage. And also on that note, whenever Sion ults now, I want the Thomas the Tank Engine bass boosted remix to be played, because that's honestly how it feels if you're on the side of Deathcap.
Here comes the train.
Yeah.
So very well executed by Team Tragedy in that fight. And we're playing a little bit of a reset cleanup here. And we'll see how Tragedy can respond to this, or can keep this going, and see how Deathcap can respond to this. I think what's throwing me off is Tragesty's logo is red, their team is red, and they're on blue, and
Yeah.
Deathcap is blue, and they're on red. It just keeps throwing me off. But yeah, I mean, you know, the train, the Scion train is playing very heavily in this game. But we'll see. We hit the 20-minute mark. You know, things start to change. 2 minutes left on the next Drake. Baron's coming up if anyone wants to get crazy and go for a super early Baron. We'll see. The Prio is definitely in Tragesty's favor. But we'll see if they want to try that as a win condition.
Especially since we have a 9k gold lead, which is very, very hard. And now Nocturne with that engage, but he is 1v4.
Everybody's
but then
coming in.
Scion ultimate into Seraphine ultimate into the kill. One Glittic team fight for the side of Team Tragedy. Team Deathcap has nothing to respond. It's gonna be a triple kill for the Nocturne. That I must say that Nocturne ultimate was a bit aggressive, but as you said, he baited the Ahri into re-engaging, and that's when the choo-choo train just inevitably crashed upon the Team Deathcap, and yeah, they couldn't respond.
What a spicy combo too. Nocturne goes in, and even if it's not the best time to do it, it shuts everything down. They can't even see what's coming next.
Yeah, and additionally, they have to devote so many resources to countering the Nocturne ultimate, you know? And that when the choo-choo train comes out, again, for the second time, they have no answer. And that's how Seraphine Scion synergy is made, I guess.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, just good CC chains, and not slow necessarily, but just completely taking you out. You know, no visibility. Here comes the train. Seraphine. I mean, they're just playing the lockdown game. But we got a little bit of a catch out here.
Yeah, you say catch out, but Ahri can't even take out the Scion shield. Oh, Scion slapping Ahri with that wallet. Honestly, the gold lead has ballooned to 10k now, or more than 10k. It's almost 11k in fact. And there's gonna be another Nocturne ult. The root onto the Ahri means that she's gonna die promptly. Huge Seraphine ultimate, and they're just getting slapped by the wallets now. Team Deathcap. Now the choo-choo train comes, and Kaylin,
finally,
without a prayer, can she escape 4 members and that virus chunks her down? And Nocturne is legendary. 11-1-11 from the Nocturne. Huge money in his pockets as we see the, you know, so many items from Nocturne. You see the Stridebreaker and the Steric's Gauge. That's why it's literally unkillable now.
Yeah, and just not afraid to go in on those ults now. The follow-up from their team is just really, I mean, the synergies are there. But I mean, this is just a really crazy combo to see. Really great team comp. Everybody's able to chain off of each other in some capacity.
Absolutely, like 13k gold lead, and I think earlier on in the game you did see Nocturne sometimes playing it a little bit more carefully when he activates his ultimate. But as we've seen in the last team fight, he was just completely fearless. He saw the Ahri getting rooted, and he said, "I'm going in." And that sort of fearlessness, it only can be obtained by like having a significant gold lead, which additionally Team Tragedy does have. There's now going to be a dragon.
Yeah, but what's interesting is they're not taking this buff for what it is, which is a run it down lanes, and instead they're using it on Drake. So it's kind of a, I mean, they have a cracked mid lane. Instead they're going for a Drake, which is kind of an interesting play.
Yeah, it's because I think they're playing it a little bit safer because they know the safety of the Mountain Soul and just like the additional stats is really beneficial, but it's going to be a flash away from the ADC of Deathcap, and the, you know, flash for ultimate, that's probably pretty worth here. Let's see if there's going to be a counter engage,
Big
but then there's going to be a Morgana root, and Nard doesn't have rage anymore. Nard's going to be taken down by Seraphine, and Scion with instant access to the backline. Varus free hitting on the back, and it's going to be a cleanup. Only Ahri is left for the side of Deathcap. And look at the movement putting on by Nocturne here. Nerf Stridebreaker, which is going to be happening next match, by the way. Hashtag Rift happened. And we see another inhibitor getting taken down. And with the empowered Baron buff and 2 inhibs, I think this is going to be very close to GG, folks.
I mean, hashtag Nerf Scion.
Hashtag Nerf Scion indeed. ban that
Whew.
champion, don't have the Baus FFS as your top laner, but this is going to be a victory for Team Tragedy, who inflicts a tragedy on Team Deathcap.
Wow. I mean, you want to talk about wombo combo CC chains. That team comp is a lesson in how to shut down everything.
Absolutely.
As long as you had two champions together, they had a chain. They could do anything. And if Scion
Honestly,
shows up, all of a sudden you're shut down again. Morgana shuts you
I
down. Seraphine shuts you down. Nocturne shuts down your vision. I mean, just crazy.
I mean, honestly, I would not be surprised if some of these team fights happen to be on Synapse tomorrow morning because oh my god, were the wombo combos real. I feel like I was watching SKT execute these team fights and ultimately it's unfortunate for Team Deathcap, but they had no answer for the execution, the playmaking and the overall team composition of Team Travesty. I mean, what else is there to say?
Yeah, I mean, solid play, great. I mean, there must have been some solid, serious scouting going on, and they just built a team that they knew they could play around. So I guarantee we will never see Tragedy play this team comp or be allowed to play this again.
Yeah, no, this was really filthy, you know. Like Seraphine and the Varus going deathless here in this game, super clean. You know, I could. It's probably a laboratory there over at Team Tragedy right now, and yeah, honestly, yeah, there's nothing left to say.
Yeah. Well, other than thank you, Pathfinder. Thank you, Rick, who left us earlier. Um, but yeah, thanks all the people out there watching. We really appreciate it, and those who are catching this on the YouTube. Of course, uh, check us out every Thursday and Tuesday. Rocket League is on Tuesdays. And subscribe on YouTube. Follow us here. Check us out at kiltrivals.gg. And and yeah, super great night. And we will
Yep.
see y'all next week.
You guys.